Hey, everybody, welcome to Comic Book Curation. I'm Polly, and joining me, as always, is Inquisitor Quiz. How are you doing this week?
I'm working on an extremely complex model, but you know what? I'm doing fairly okay. I'm doing better than those commies in Seattle, starving after only one day and having to being forced to have bread lines.
I'm sure they'll turn out fine. And if they don't, well, we'll just know that wasn't real communism.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course.
And rounding out our triumvirate of awesome is Jack from Bad Comic Reviews. Jack, how are you doing this week? Are you staying toasty by the fires?
Uh, Not really. It's been sweltering hot in my area, but it's nice because I have a refrigerator full of food that was not stolen by homeless people.
I love it too because what's gonna be their response? Those damn homeless people stole all our food. Well, now you don't care about the disenfranchised? How dare you?
No, this is communism. Well, it wasn't really your food, was it?
It was
It was the
everyone's food.
communities.
Well, the community of homeless people went and got it more. You know, they appropriated the food as they needed,
Each according to their needs, and they needed it more, clearly.
right?
Are they not part of the collective?
I also love the fact that their call to action too was for vegan meats and soy products. So that's what they're really doing. They're trying to avoid giving the homeless people those foods because homeless people aren't going to want to eat that shit.
Yeah. They'd probably just cook it away from them so they couldn't have it. They like
Right.
it better with the regular people, thank you.
And looking down our chat to see all of the wonderful people that have shown up here. Richo's here, and W.R. Costin's here, and Matta Winter, and Naval Potato, and Jacob, and Johnny Hellcat, and Mike Parlett, and Functional, and holy fuck, lots of fucking people here. This is great. Some asshole named Bad
yeah.
Comic Reviews.
Yeah, that guy's a douche. I love him.
And Becca's here. How's it going? And as usual, I was trying to type before we went live, but as soon as I started the streaming, I had overloaded my poor potato, so wasn't able to type anymore. And I'm here. Watch this, guys. That's me typing and nothing happening. I'm at peak computer resource usage. Naval Potato said to me, "Why don't you don't forget to send out the tweet?" And I had just done so, and I was about to tweet to him or type in chat to him. One step ahead of you, man. I just did it. I actually remembered this week, but oh well, no typing. So you know, I'm going to be a non-typist yet again for this stream. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, it's okay. Eventually, we'll solve it, right?
Eventually, which brings me to a nice segue to something else. Thank you very much, Naval Potato, for posting all of our links and give generously to all of us. We know it's hard times, but we appreciate any support that you might give. And if financial support isn't within your means, which we totally understand, feel free to like and subscribe to the stream if you don't already, and share with your friends. I don't care if Razorfist says he's proud of never having to say like, share, and subscribe. Fuck you, Mr. 200,000 subs, awesome as hell with your 1980s aesthetic. Not all of us can be as cool as you, okay?
Yeah. I'll say this about it. The best thing you could possibly do is just share it with your friends. Yeah, more and more people discovering that's the best. That's the best thing we could possibly ask for, guys.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Retweeting the tweet, retweeting the tweet is
$50 million would go a long way toward negating what you just said.
Well, okay, I had touche. $50 million would be more helpful than retweeting. Now, for those who don't have the $50 million that Jack is desiring, retweeting the tweet would be a great amount of help because it spreads word about the stream that you're currently enjoying, and I certainly hope that you are. And what is this little pop-up on my computer that is now annoying me? What is this? Oh, fuck you. Guess what? There's another Apple update. I don't even have an Apple, and I got to deal with, oh, look, iTunes, there's an update. Yeah, this fucking 24-hour period. When isn't there one? And stop telling me to fucking, what's Apple's little video thing?
Oh, QuickTime?
QuickTime. It's constantly telling me, do you want to download a QuickTime update? I don't even have QuickTime installed, guys. What do you think my answer is?
Yes.
Fucking QuickTime.
I want 8 copies. That's what you're saying, right?
20 copies of QuickTime.
I mean, for those of you out there that are running iMacs or MacBook Pros or whatever, they have got to keep it set on automatic update. Because it would just, Apple must update every fucking 6 hours. I mean, I can't imagine what it was like if you didn't have it, because I've got Windows and everything else set to update when I feel like it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. This is Kyle. That's greatly appreciated. It seems to be within my means. Well, that's greatly appreciated. Too bad I left the Noir Bar pop-ups on. But because it is within your means, you got to see the sexy lady drop her dress to the floor. So, I mean, that's a win.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Now, let's speak about sexy things for a second.
Are we allowed to talk about that with comic books?
Well, see,
Apparently
that's
not.
exactly what I'm saying. I am still salty. I am still upset about having my thumbnails struck down. For those of you who don't know, a whole bunch of thumbnails for Comic Book Curation have been taken down because they all feature, by my choice as a straight red-blooded male, to feature sexy comic book ladies, because Western comic book ladies are hot as hell. What?
Yeah, wouldn't mine got taken down too.
What is the... Are we in the midst of a Puritan raid here, Jack? What the fuck's happening?
Sure seems that way, doesn't it? Because I think that's what they were doing when they were tinkering with the system last week. They were trying to desexualize thumbnails. And I was like, what the fuck, man? I like looking at the human form when it's nice and sexy and not big and fluffy.
Well, that's the thing that bothers me, is that when you look at the individual ones that were taken down, you have the mic. Why do you need to type? Evolved Potato said. Well, I like multimedia interaction with my chat. Is that so wrong? And while I'm speaking of the mic, as always, I'm having problems getting the audio levels tuned. So Jack, Wiz, and myself sound not mastered properly. You let me know. You want to talk about bad mastering? I watched 310 to Yuma, the 2007 remake, the other day. Christian Stale is stale as fuck. He's earned my nickname for him. I had seen the 1957 original, but I had not seen the remake. So I watched the remake. You want to talk about a poorly audio mastered movie? Like an explosion would happen, or somebody would fire their Winchester lever action rifle, and it would be loud as fuck, like tear the earphones, rip my ears loud. Okay? And then they're talking, and you got Christian Bale's little like, I'm currently speaking in a low voice. Why do I always sound breathy like I'm Batman? I don't know. Why do you? Why do you do that?
Got a lot of sinus problems.
Well, that I think you really want a real answer, real talk. He's trying to suppress his British accent.
All right.
Yeah, it would kind of ruin a Western if he's like, oh, I say, pip, pip, cheerio, let's go catch some bandits.
Well, yeah, by all means, let's talk about that fucking accent of his. I will give him credit. If you, in my opinion, when you watch him in, let's say, American Psycho, his American accent is really well done. Like, in the sense that I do not hear it slipping through. Rebecca Hall is a beautiful goddess creature, in my opinion. But her British accent slips through constantly when she's trying to do an American accent. It becomes really obvious, especially when she is doing a scene where she's yelling or excited or something. You hear the pip pip come out of her. You know what I mean? Not so much so with him, but you should hear him trying to do the Southern drawl. Say, are we going to go down there and pick up these hooligans that are trying to take over my farmland that I've worked so well for? And it's like, whoa, what happened to the accent there, Christian? You got paid millions of dollars to be in this movie. Why is it the Aussie, Russell Crowe playing opposite to you, is doing a better Western American accent than you are? The Aussie's beating you. You both have native accents that aren't this accent, and he's beating you. What the fuck?
Well, I'll say this about that. Australians have learned to do the American accent way better than the English have. English definitely have trouble with it because, I mean, just look at the pedigree of different Australian actors that come over here, and their American accent is almost indistinguishable. Like Margot Robbie, Chris Hemsworth, Mel Gibson. Yeah, there's plenty. The Aussies tend to just do better at it than Brits do.
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to pay more attention to that over time. I'm not sure if you're right, but I'm gonna see. Thank you, Gamer Valine, for the $5. If you have iTunes, QuickTime is a system feature of it that they bury in the system folders. Resident tech person trying to help the potato. Now, do you run Apple, Gamer Valine? That's
she might. Well, she might be talking about specifically that she has iTunes. People that don't run Apple have iTunes. I have iTunes, and I hate it.
You know what I hate is the fucking the million things that iTunes buries in your fucking system folder once you install it. You install iTunes, and then I go and look at, I bring up system processes that are running in the background. You can trace like 7 or 8 of them just to fucking Apple.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, I didn't even launch iTunes. Doesn't matter. Apple's spying on your genitals, I assume.
Well, what I put on webcam is none of their business. Like, I think the Australians have to work harder because, like, the British have a reputation for being like these amazing actors, which isn't necessarily untrue, but that makes them a little comfortable, so they don't have to try real hard because their British accent is considered like cool, and the Australians have to work a little harder because it's a weird hybrid of like the British and American accent. So they have to try a little harder to suppress their natural accent and mimic ours. And I think that makes them more attuned to actually doing an American accent. Whereas the Brits, they kind of half-ass it because it's just they know that they could get British roles as like supervillains and stuff like that.
And Nazis.
Yeah, and Nazis.
Well, why are the British Nazis?
They're just always cast as Nazis. You haven't noticed that?
No.
All of the Nazi officers are always British. And Jack, back me up on this. You watch a lot of films.
What? Yeah, it's always British actors playing Nazis.
What?
So.
I
was reading chat.
Well, come join us in the stream. Join in our reindeer games.
I'm really tired.
Well, I mean, whenever you have not just a supervillain, but some Nazi-esque, if you will, evil military. Yeah, they're always British. I mean, look at the Galactic Empire in Star Wars. All Brits.
Well, look at the Red Skull in Captain America. Hugo Weaving, British.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hugo Weaving's a great actor, though.
Absolutely, but still a Brit playing a Nazi.
True.
A potato is greater than an apple, says Frosted Glass. Well, yes.
I agree.
You're right. I find no flaws in your reasoning, sir. Sorry for anyone out there using an Apple, but I have my issues with Apple. I just don't like the OS. The hardware is fucking fine. It's not the hardware I have a problem with. Fucking OS, man. And Gear of Lean says Apple and... Hold on real quick. Gear of Lean says Apple's and Windows poly. Windows has more OS drain for base function, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, having a fucking potato doesn't really help either. I can't wait until it's just, hey man, it's just time to get rid of my iPod Touch that I use as a separate MP3 player. I got to find a proper MP3 playing piece of software for my Android and just give up on the fucking iPod, man. That's the only reason I have iTunes anyway. Anyway, I think we're pretty far off comic books, don't you think?
Hang on, let me grab a super chat.
Sure.
Thank you, this is Kyle. Here's some money I, air quotes, found in this can in front of some dirty man sleeping behind the Walmart. Not sure why he was sleeping back there, but there you go. Thank you.
And also from this is Kyle. And finally, something for you, Quiz. As I always must say, and as always, I must say, hello, chat people and comic nerds. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Gamer Villain, for the $2. Christopher Waltz and Glorious Bastards and Michael Fassbender. He's a Brit.
Oh yeah, Michael Fassbender's Brits. Yeah.
He is, but Michael Fassbender's different because he's fucking awesome. Man, I love me some Fassbender. There's nothing I've ever seen that guy in that I didn't think like, man, you rock, buddy.
So I have to bring up something here. Formerly Rod Line brought up, no, he's from Australia. I'm assuming he's talking about Hugo Weaving. I went and I looked up Hugo Weaving. He is British. He was born in Nigeria. He currently lives in Australia, but he is British.
Okay, yeah,
that's complicated.
Unnecessarily so, yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, just trying to share the
British
screen. Well, them with their global empires and stuff. Of course, they're going to have expats all over the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think I might have just froze our hangout here, gentlemen.
Oh no.
Ah,
God damn it.
It'll catch up eventually, right?
No, I don't think it will. I think it just totally froze out, man. Oh, and Unholy Reaper is here. How's it going, buddy? You know what? Unholy Reaper, Sinatra needs your help building an AR pistol. People keep sending him over expensive designs, and I keep telling him he can just build it himself. And then he keeps finding places where it's sold out because the great gun grab is occurring right now. And then I tell him, man, why don't you just buy a stock folder like the Law Tactical folder for your current Sport 2 and leave it at that? If you want it smaller, buy the backpack. Anyway, off topic now.
we are way off topic now.
Oh, for God fucking sake, man.
They're saying the stream's good.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's just we can still talk. I can still hear you guys, but I can't share the screen with you guys so you can see it in real time.
That's all right.
I say you don't need to. It's just it helps. But yeah, no, don't feel obligated. Just make sure that the audience can see. We'll be fine.
We're here for them.
I'm here. What? Oh, yeah, I guess we are. Huh. Well, so much for my goal in life to be wholly self-centered.
No, it's never okay to give up your goals, Polly.
You heard it, chat. Jack wants me to tell you all to fuck off and make the stream about me and only me. Jack's idea.
Well, wait a second. I don't think how is it?
I am what is called clinically as an enabler.
What I'm going to do right now, copy said link location. So, chat's still going to hear me, but they're not going to hear you because I'm going to close Chrome and reopen it and rejoin the stream and talk to you guys. And hopefully this all works out. So,
okay.
You guys are going to be able to talk to each other, but they're not going to hear it. Anyway, you'll find out what's going to go. Fine.
Yeah, you'll join again. And,
yeah. So, chat, what I'm doing right now is getting rid of these two.
Oh, I see how it is.
There, and they're gone. Now it's just me and you guys. Now, relaunch Chrome. The world's shittiest fucking browser, am I right? Okay. And just paste in that URL and see if I can rejoin the same room that they're in, and then we'll all be back together again. Join the hangout. Now I can. Okay, wait. Were you guys talking trash about me? No one laughs that hard unless it's me. What the hell's going on in here?
We were making fun of that collective that got ripped off by the hobos.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that was a pretty quick restart, and they're back, and yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Yeah. Now, if you want to see true technical fuck-ups, you should have watched the stream last night that was going on over on Chaos E's channel. Woo, baby. I thought I ran a disorganized stream. I'm just kidding. I love you, Eve.
And so, yeah, if she's in the chat, hey, Eve, contact me after the chat. I got stuff I can discuss with you to help you run it better.
Yeah, we were trying to run a old school game stream. Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Fathers. And she
one
was
of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to start off with, but there were big tech problems getting the stream to run properly. But it's okay, we'll figure it out. Anyways, so what I'm going to do is try again to share the screen. This is where we ran into the problem last time. Holy shit, it worked, guys. Chrome.
Oh, success!
Chrome did what its basic function is designed to do.
That's asking a lot.
I know. Oh, thank you, Johnny Hellcat, for the $5. And I don't think I'm going to turn those Noir Bar notifications off because Sexy Jessica Alba, am I right?
She's still...
Oh, man, so much so. Johnny Hellcat says, I was going to make a joke about how you have a Russian actor playing Captain Britain. And then I looked up Russian actors. The first one I saw was Alec Lynch. The picture next to the name is Alec Baldwin. Yeah, Alec Lynch, Alec Baldwin, totally different people. Totally different people.
Are they?
Yes.
What if Alec Baldwin played Alec Lynch?
Oh, you know what? Thank you, Johnny Hellcat, for reminding me. Speaking of Captain Britain.
I am drunk. So drunk.
Gamer Valine's drunk.
I cannot get up.
Thank you, Gamer Valine, for the $2. Wait a minute. You and I were chaos. We just took a sharp left, then a right. You and I were chaos. We just took a sharp left.
Are those song lyrics?
Good call.
Okay,
You and I were right. And then we took. Okay. I
Love you,
was.
Gamerfully.
They're either song lyrics or out of somebody's suicide note. I'm not sure which.
No, they sound like they're like 70s singer-songwriter era. Like, that's why I was
Yeah.
singing in that way. It's like something Joan Baez would have come up with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or Kurt Cobain right before he blew his brains out.
No, Kurt Cobain didn't make anywhere near that sense. I ask you to consider like a mosquito, a libido, an albino, what I don't even remember the lyrics past that. They become less sensical. A speed stick. I don't know what's happening next.
It's hard to bargle noddle zouse with all these marbles in my mouth, Polly.
What?
That's the lyric from Smells Like Nirvana from Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh.
Which was a far superior song.
Yes, it was.
All right. Let's cover some things to do with comics, or at least comic book related. Oh, 7 of 9 was always queer. Now,
Was she?
you know who I think would be the most surprised to find out about this?
Jerry
The actress?
Ryan.
Well, no, I don't think Jerry Ryan's just happy to be acting. I mean,
Yeah. Although I have a script saved up where she would do some muff diving, and I would gladly pay her $50 to participate in said fantasy. But I don't think that's what you're referring to.
No, it's not. Thank you, Functional, for the $5. Because fuck you, Polly. That's why. XD. Well, I just. All right, then. I'll tell you something that's confusing for me about Jerry Ryan. I mean, it's not like she's an unattractive woman. As a matter of fact, she's quite hot. And can act, and can sing, and is also a very skilled dancer. Why did her career not go anywhere after Star Trek Voyager?
No, a lot of Star Trek actors get this, where for some reason they get like kind of pseudo blackballed from the industry because you don't see many of them make it, and there's some decent actors in the lineup. I mean, I guess they didn't reboot Gargoyles yet, so they can't all get work again. But it's a real shame because there's some really good talent on there, even on Golden Voyager.
Right.
Had some decent talent, like Jerry Ryan, not Neelix.
Well, I will say, some of them are definitely do get work and other ones don't. I don't know. I guess that might be a stigma when it comes to the people that that actually do Star Trek work. It's the only thing I can think of because you had people like Phil Lamar. Phil Lamar was on Star Trek, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of people that are on Star Trek, but aren't like the cast regulars. Like Robert Picardi was easily hands down the best actor on Voyager.
Oh, Picardo,
that guy,
the doctor.
Yeah, the doctor guy, whatever his name is.
Picardo.
Solid actor.
Yeah, but now with his credit, I mean, this is an interesting point. Robert Carr, what about him? Well, he was always bit part actor or smaller part actor. I mean, remember he played the head of security or the owner of the Clamp. No, he played the head of security in the Clamp building in Gremlins 2. That's exactly the kind of role that he ends up playing. Oh, like if you go watch old movies, right, Jack? He's all over the place, Robert Picardo. That guy's been working for years, and he's still working. His most high-profile role was on Star Trek. Then you get like 7 of 9, like Jerry Ryan. You think she would be like tip-top, and people would have shelled out whatever $8-10 million fee she wanted to get naked and have a lesbian sex scene, because after all, 7 of 9 was always queer. Look, this is on StarTrek.com. It's got to be true.
Yeah.
Right, now, go ahead.
Let me grab a chat real quick. Sure. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat, for the donation. Kurt Cobain lyrics made about as much sense as Jim Morrison lyrics. Spoiler alert, they don't.
Yeah. I am the Lizard King. I can do anything, guys.
All right.
Cuckoo, motherfucker.
So what are we looking at here? Star Trek's official website?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, really quick, why I think that who do I think would be the most surprised? Chakotay, the guy that she had an ongoing romantic relationship with, and in canon married, and I guess the whole time she was a side lesbian. What, fucking around on him? Really angry he had a dick? What do you mean 7 of 9 was always queer? No. As a matter of fact, she was always straight and was only interested in men like throughout the entire series. So what the fuck are you talking about? But let's read on, because in Star Trek Picard, they made her kind of queer because, reasons. 7 of 9 has always represented layered identities, and with Picard, she finally gets to show us how far she's come. Yeah, man. For a fleeting moment during the season finale of Star Trek Picard, we see 7 of 9, aka Annika Hansen, take Raffi's hand in hers. The two characters look into one another's eyes before the camera moves on to show us how the rest of the crew has fared in the wake of their battle. Star Trek fans took that small moment of queer acknowledgement and ran with it. And who can blame us? Because we are StarTrek.com. We are totally not a corporation. It speaks on behalf of corporate views and focused, tested, approved notions. We are fans. This is entirely a fan site, guys. This isn't Paramount corporate at all.
Yeah, right. No, I think that's kind of ridiculous. You're reading between the lines and trying to fulfill your own fanfic nonsense. I don't know. Plus, is Picard even canon at this point? Because it didn't look very much like Star Trek to me.
No, for the record, I'm an actual Star Trek fan. There's a whole fuck ton of us, but canon ended with Enterprise. That was it. That's everything after that has been extremely expensive Paramount fan fiction. That's Discovery, that's Picard. I mean, they've got nothing to do with Star Trek, and most people don't bother to consider them canon. Even the JJ verse, like JJ Abrams films, the so-called Kelvin timeline. Yeah, fine, that's canon too. It's a little weird. It's turning Star Trek into an action film, but whatever. It's a different timeline, and it's the Kelvin timeline, and it's canon, and that's fine. But Picard is so bad, and especially Star Trek Discovery is so bad that now no one considers these things canon, except for the corporate shills at StarTrek.com, of course.
See that there was something that was brought up in Oni Plays, which by the way, if we can shill a much larger YouTuber than us, he's a former Newgrounds animator, and he does Let's Plays and stuff like that. In between his time when he's actually working on a game that's coming out fairly soon. But that's neither here nor there. He brought up something fairly recently in a playthrough of Metal Gear Resurgence, right? Metal Gear, was it Metal Gear Revengeance Resurgence or whatever? It's the one all about Raiden when he's a ninja. And one of the things he brought up in that playthrough, in that video, the very first video, was this game is not canon. And some of the other people that he's playing with say, yeah, it's not. But it's really funny how when things are not canon, not considered to be canon, but are cool, get people saying, but I want this to be canon. And if there's something that is really not very good, all the people are saying, I don't want this to be canon.
Right.
So I think it's kind of funny when people bring this up, because by all accounts, if it has the Star Trek name, it's canon, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, that's the call. And somebody just asked, do you think you were screen sharing something? Ken Lee asked, can you guys not see the article that I'm attempting to be screen sharing right now?
You can see like some tweet. It's scrolled
down.
Oh
yeah, no, this is part of the article. Yeah. This is part of the article. Yeah. And this whole article is basically around this because Jerry Ryan tweeted out herself, 7 is canonically bi, don't you worry. And there's the idea, right? Canonically, the whole point is to like jam it into canon. And Jerry Ryan, I think you would do whatever you thought would be like the thing to do on Twitter with your blue check mark, because you're just happy to be working. And I get it. I don't even blame her. Like, if Jerry Ryan is like, let's just say that 7 of 9 has all of these Borg implants, right? And parts of her body are metal and technological and so forth. Oh yeah, disabled representation. If that started as a thing and people asked Jerry Ryan, is 7 of 9 Annika Hansen a disabled representation person, she'd say yes. If she thought it would get likes and tweets. It's about public PR Twitter stuff, and Twitter's a fucking sewer, and this is the kind of stuff that gets likes and tweets. Is anyone surprised by this shit?
No, I'm not.
The truth is that 7 of 9 has always been queer. No, I'm not talking about the palpable sexual tension between 7 of 9 and Janeway.
Ew.
What?
Ew.
What did you just say? The palpable sexual tension between the Seven and Janeway? What are
my
you
little
talking
man's
about?
Canoe 7.
Seriously, what in the ever-loving fuck are you talking about? There's tension between the two of them, like I'll throw you in the brig or in the air. There was no.
No,
Listen,
she just wanted to scissor her so bad.
I am all
Bro.
down for sexual tension, okay? And this ain't it, Chief. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. That's just... Though that's not all a part of Seven of Nine's queerness, too. What I'm referencing specifically is Seven's relationship to her body, gender, attraction, and romance. Let's not talk about all the heterosexual relationships she had, including marriage to a male. The way that she...
Yeah. Did they just not talk about her marriage to Chakotay at all?
No, I mean, it happened in the show, like in the final episode, like in the it's like a time traveling two-parter, the series finale. They travel back to the past, and you find out in the future that Seven of Nine got married to Chakotay, and they were together for a while, and then she died, and etc. Right? So
but they were dating during the present.
Yeah, absolutely, they were. Yep.
They were talking about that. There was like the 4th date or whatever.
Yep, full-on relationship, etc. And she was going to the doctor for advice, like, how do I proceed in a human relationship because I have no sense of what to do? And it was a full-on, Her love interest was the first officer. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about her queerness, guys. The way she relates to her body and how her body autonomy has been taken by the Borg. Oh, yeah. And the Federation reads like the experience of many transgender, non-binary, and queer folks to me.
To me.
To me.
Did this article
this?
just editorialize?
Who wrote this? It doesn't even have a byline. A byline. Okay, so let's get
on a blog, right?
I like that you giggled like a little girl on that one.
Byline on a blog.
Anyway.
Like it's peer-reviewed or edited at all.
Editing is patriarchy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I went too far. When Seven makes her epic first appearance on Picard, she arrives as a lethal force space ranger on a revenge mission. She's hunting down that human that killed E-Cobb. Rather, thank you, Vol Potato, for the donation. I'm just picking up my other laptop that I read Streamlabs off of. That's why your donations are so greatly appreciated to stop this haphazard jury-rigged operation that I run with just to be able to hang out with you fine people. Thank you, Vol Potato. Why do you keep comparing Twitter to a sewer? Sewers are relatively clean compared to how bad Twitter is. Well,
that's a fair point.
You know, sewers do have all sorts of like chemicals put in them to clean them from time to time and to stop the filth and froth from building up. Twitter doesn't have that. They don't get rid of the Marxists or the communists or the outright racists or any other thing that I can't pronounce properly today for some reason.
So you know what it would be then? It's not a sewer, it's a cesspit.
Yes, it's a dung pile at the edge of town.
Yes,
where a relatively small amount of people. Guys, this is going to be a bad stream.
You're fine.
Oh,
you just got to remember the pupils. You just got to remember the pupils.
Say that all the time, but it always turns out awesome.
So. Well,
yeah,
okay.
Right?
And you know what the funny thing is? People are joking. It's like Polly's drunk. Well, when's Polly not drunk? Well, Polly's as sober as a Mormon right now, and things don't seem to be working out too well. I should go get myself a double. Anyway.
Yeah, I think I see part of the problem here.
This Mormon is going to drink in your honor then.
Well, see, you know why I started saying sober as a Mormon? Because
cheers.
Well, and to you as well, Salante. Because the saying is sober as a priest, and people would invariably come back to me and say, "But priests can drink." And it's like, well, yeah, they can actually. You're right. So why is that a saying? I don't know. So right off the top of my head on Discord one day, I said, "Okay, sober as a Mormon," and people argue with that too. I don't get it. I know a Mormon who drinks. Well,
okay. Yeah, you know one right here.
There you go. Okay, hold on. She's understandably enraged and has no problem manipulating. Oh no, I won't go back. Blah blah blah. Okay, spoilers. Get into your belief in her LGBTQ-ness here. All right. Her feats on both Voyager and Picard are wrapped up in violence, resistance, and philosophical quandaries around body autonomy, and that's part of what makes Seven's story so queer. She and the Borg, like Data, Soji, and other synthetics, interrogate what it means to be human and the limits of that humanity. And as history has shown us time and time again, who gets to be seen as human is determined by those in power. Currently, the sitting U.S. president has been attempting to roll back human rights for LGBTQ plus folks and has succeeded in some instances. The human rights. Like what? You're over. This is bullshit. I don't even want to get into politics, but I was talking to Quiz 2 hours ago, talking about why I became an editor on Memory Alpha, to keep current day politics out of my trek. That's all I do there. Is not write articles, but just go around and say, where's your canonical evidence for this? Where's your canonical evidence? Like, stop injecting Donald Trump into Star Trek. He comes up again and again in people's articles on the Star Trek wiki. Why? How? What the fuck?
That's weird.
You're damn right it is. Like, people are, like, I've tried telling Quiz and other people go into, like, virtual mini fan fictions inside of the articles, guessing and inserting what they wished was going on in Star Trek. See, when Picard said this, what he actually meant is that he's a trans woman. Like it.
And I feel remiss if I wouldn't bring up again, and it's something I've always said on this stream, and something I will continue to say until my dying breath, and it probably will be my dying words. All fan fiction is garbage. Every single one of them.
You hear that, ladies? He just knocked 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes, I did. Goddamn right I did. The only good thing about 50 Shades of Grey is that College Humor video where it was read by Gilbert Gottfried. Not gonna lie, Audible, if you get Gilbert Gottfried to read 50 Shades of Grey, I will buy that shit faster than you can believe.
You didn't know where you were going with that, did you?
I didn't. It just kind of trickled off at the end there.
Thank you, Pete,
That's
for
right.
the $10. Very generous. I'm as sober as fuck it. I'm too drunk to think of anything. Well, I mean, but for the $10, you did get to see Jessica Alba slugging straight from a bottle of vodka and stripper gear. So, I mean, you know, that's a.
Well, he's a full-grown fucking Aussie. His breakfast is a fucking VB.
I like VB. Quit insulting it. I've had VB. It's good.
I've never had it, actually.
It's not as bitter as the name would make you think, but it's good. Okay, so
I just heard the whole continent cringe when you did that.
I don't care.
Get this part. I mean, this sums up where this person is going with this article over and over again. The page you're on right now is slowing down your browser. What would you like to do? It's asking me. You know what page is slowing down my browser? Chat. Am I going to close it? No. Because it's chat. Fuck you. My computer can go slow all at once. Look. So 7 of 9 is a child when she gets grabbed by the Borg, right? And then that's when she's transitioned to being a Borg. They put all children Borg into maturation chambers and make them adults and then implant them with all of the things. So anyway, that was me skipping over this fucking full paragraph of this person carrying on. The queerness and transness of it all is staggering. Transgender, non-binary, and queer people have our bodies claimed and labeled when we are young, like the Borg assimilating 7. Before we can declare who we are for ourselves, we get sorted into blue or pink, never green or black or yellow. And then we're told we're only attracted to people who wear the other color. And then those categories are enforced over and over. The surgeries forced on intersex infants, for example, is yo.
Somebody's got mental problems and they work at StarTrek.com.
What gender is green and black?
Well, I was just telling Quiz about you want to talk about canon when it comes to trans people in Star Trek?
I want to hear you go off on this one, man. I want to hear chat's reaction.
Well, you know what? I was thinking of doing like a short supercut video of it. I just watched an episode of Star Trek Enterprise. And man, you guys are getting a lot of Star Trek today. Sorry for people who hate Star Trek, but you know, it'd be like that sometimes. Here, I'll do something. But we'll scroll to a picture of sexy Jerry here. There she is, looking all hot. She's bi too, so let your fantasies run wild because they totally love it when you fetishize lesbianism. They don't. They hate it. I'm kidding.
Too late. I already did it.
I was gonna say, any red-blooded man has already done it. So sorry.
Well, you were wrong for doing so. So I'm watching Star Trek Enterprise chronologically, like just from first episode and watching them all in order because I rarely do that. So I'm watching Enterprise over again. I get to near the end of the second season episode where they go to a planet that has 3 genders. And sorry. They meet a species that's 3 genders. That's natural for their species and stuff. And they repeatedly throughout the episode use the terms sexuality or sex and gender interchangeably, which is total hate speech, by the way, guys. Sex is not the same as gender. They're both socially constructed, though. And the doctor repeatedly says, now this is in the 22nd century, that human beings are binary in their sexuality, that there are only 2 genders. Over and over again, that comes up in the episode because that is part of the particular Commander Tucker's fascination with this species, that they have 3 genders. He doesn't get it, and he's curious about it because we're bi-gendered. And he goes and talks to the doctor about it, who says, well, most species are bi-gendered, like humanity, how you only have 2 genders. Me, Denobulans, we're like that too. We only have 2 genders. I'm like, oh God, wait till the SJWs find out about this episode. It'll be like the biggest anathema they've ever encountered.
I would say for all of the people that claim that Star Trek is like the second coming of their atheist Christ, then yeah, I would love to see them see that, because it would just make like Steve Shive's head explode.
I'm sorry, but these episodes are going to disappear down the memory hole and be deleted from all future releases.
You're not wrong about that, Jack. Yeah.
I can see certain episodes being memory hold. Like there's certain episodes in the first season of Star Trek that they consider or Star Trek Next Generation they consider racist. I don't see how. I mean, the one where they went to the planet that was like, it was all black folks there, and they were like, oh, it was so racist. It's like, how? They were supposed to be like traditional Chinese monarchy era people. That's what they based it on. Picard even gives them a present that's from the Shang dynasty. I forget which one, because their culture so closely resembles an Earth culture, Chinese in this case, that they thought they would appreciate that present. And everybody reads into it and says, oh my God, you made them all black. It's such stereotypes. And it's like, it is? Man, you guys are racist as fuck and read something into everything. But that episode, man, people have put together change.org stuff to Paramount CBS to eliminate that episode from future releases, to have it taken off of CBS All Access streaming services because it's so racist. So yeah, I can see that episode being so transphobic that we just got to get rid of it. But
Functional, thank you for the addiction, aka for the God Emperor. Thank you, Functional.
And thank you, Functional, because fuck Polly, that's why.
I'm oddly okay with that. I don't know why. Anyway, let's so I was bitching and complaining just a little bit ago. Hold on. White screen for no good reason here.
Any reason to have Jerry Ryan on the screen is good.
Well, I think we're done with that article. That is that person writing a blog, obviously, like that should be their own personal blog, but for bullshit politically correct reasons, I'm gonna guess, got hired at StarTrek.com to write that article. This is how you get dear kin on safety councils.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So it's like, I'm a trans person, you got to let me on. And then they end up being weirdo deer kin. And then it's like, well, do you want to write this article? You're a trans person and about 7 of 9's queerness. And it ends up being like a personal blog about forced gender assignments and shit. And it's like, okay.
Well, let's face it, a lot of these kids are transgenders, which means they don't have personalities or anything interesting about them. They're just trying to get somebody to love them and like give them the hugsies that they never got. It's just sad. I mean, that article was so poorly written. This person doesn't have any writing talent. They're just trying to get somebody to pay attention to them. It's depressing.
You know, Johnny Hellcat had he's got a piece of wisdom there in chat. Quote, part of growing up is realizing that the Doors is a shitty band.
Johnny's a wise man.
That's a nugget of wisdom. If you get nothing else from this stream, at least you got that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Because you're probably not going to get anything else out of the stream.
In terms of wisdom, probably not. No. I'm just saying, Jim Morrison, a little overrated. Putting that out there. I don't care if he choked on his own puke in a bathtub because of heroin. How does that make him a wise man? In France, of all places. Anyway, so we'll I don't know what France has to do with it, but fuck it.
Oh, France sucks.
I'm just spewing the facts I happen to remember from that last 24 documentary that I watched. Anyway, this article I found weird. I thought I was going to find awesome, but I ended up finding weird. Artist shares risque pinups of X-Men members. Storm, Jean Grey, Psylocke, and Rogue. And I thought, oh, hell yeah. Because I'm all about this based on the thumbnail conversation we had not too long ago, right? Artist Pablo Romero recently shared a number of risque pinups, repeating the headline that I should know not to read the first line because it's just a headline reiterated. Romero successfully crowdfunded Cyborg USA with writers Rob Casey and Zach Tobacco. Your name is Zach Tobacco? That's pretty awesome, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Okay,
that is the laziest fake name I've ever seen.
What are you? Tobacco, not tobacco. It's
I got a pack of Marlboros and a copy of Saved by the Bell. What's my screen name gonna be? Real quick, thank you, Evolved Potato. Since we all know that Star Trek is a communist utopia, anything that is said could be true and not true because communists are terrible people if you can call them people.
Star Trek is, well, okay, you know what? Star Trek is viewed as a communist utopia by people like Steve Shives, who promote it as such, because they want to see in this show that they like and the ability to promote everything that they like in today's world. It's not a communist utopia, and I can make a very strong argument for that, but don't worry, I won't. We've done enough Star Trek already.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I thought that it was still a capitalist, but it was post scarcity. So like there was no such thing as people who were homeless or going hungry.
That's the whole point. It's post scarcity. That's it.
Yeah.
They have replicators so they can replicate food ad infinitum, but they still have personal property. People still own things. The means of production are not owned by a central government. It doesn't have any of the earmarks of communism whatsoever. It's what to do with your life in the land of plenty. That's the key element of Star Trek. So anyway.
And I think is something else that is very interesting about Star Trek, which is absent in things like 40K, is the fact that there are still nations on Earth because it's the United Nation or Federation, isn't it?
Yes, it's just states are now global states. Yeah, but
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's one thing I think is kind of interesting because in 40K they got rid of that because the Emperor unified everyone. Granted, he did it in a brutal war of conquest, but it was still a unification of a sort. So I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting the fact that they can be a spacefaring post scarcity world while also maintaining national autonomy. That's one thing I think is kind of interesting about Star Trek. But
all I know is they eat their own poop because they recycle it. So what's wrong with pinups chicks now?
What? Hold on for a second. That might be technically true that they eat their own poop and urine because they recycle it, but I mean, it's been broken down. Anyway, fuck off.
Just because you throw some Tabasco sauce on it doesn't make it any less your own shit.
Breaking it down into its constituent elements is far from putting some Tabasco sauce on it.
You dress it up however you want. They're still eating poop.
You're eating poop. Hold on. No, wait a minute. You're eating poop too because the vegetables that you eat are grown using fertilizer. What do you think fertilizer is, bro?
I don't eat vegetables.
You eat mushrooms. You eat mushrooms, right? Mushrooms are grown on poop. I know you have mushrooms.
Why? Were you in my cabinets earlier? I don't have any mushrooms.
I remember you telling me a while back, and I remember things.
I'll eat mushrooms, but I'm not saying I don't eat nearly as much poop as they do. They're space poop farmers.
Oh, I see. So it's not that. Yes. So you're not opposed to people eating some poop, just a lot of poop. Is that right, Jack?
Well, I'm not upset about them eating things grown in poop. I just don't. I find it weird they eat their own poop, and then they're like, "Let's all get along." Because eating poop makes you want to join a confederation of other planets and fly around in space.
No, 40K gets around this. They don't eat poop. They eat corpses. They recycle the dead. They grind them down into corpse starch is what they.
Yeah, but that's a good idea.
Why,
But
Yeah.
eating poop, eating your own poop is a terrible idea. Celebrities do
it
that.
lends credibility.
Yeah,
It lends
celebrities.
It lends credibility to the theory that they're communists because there's no bread lines, so they have to eat their own poop.
Wait a minute. It's like extreme communism. It's so bad that there's no bread lines that they're reduced to
With
eating
big
their own
X
poop.
and no E on the beginning.
I love how we're talking about this subject, but yet we've got this X-Men pinups thing on the screen. Like people just joining.
You're the
like,
one that stopped to analyze the poop comment.
well, you're the one who made the poop comment. It couldn't go unaddressed. It was that weird. Look.
The poop is tearing us apart, guys.
And speaking of off-topic things, Dark Admiral March here. Hey, how's it going? Jim Morrison is still alive and working at a gas station in South Carolina. I met him. He bummed a smoke and told me the secret of life. Never listen to the Lizard King when he's trying to tell you the meaning of life. He doesn't know. Burned out hippie. I've met that guy.
But he can do it.
Okay, look, the whole point, we wasted so much time. I'm sure these guys, Jackie Tobacco, what's his name? Zach Tobacco.
I gotta grab a Streamlabs here real quick. I'm sorry.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you, Pete. I had no idea you could sell a stolen guide dog for so much. Gotta love wet markets. Here's your share, Jack. Thanks, Pete.
Man, that's stealing a fucking guide dog. That's low. My
Sold it in a
God.
wet market. That's some dark shit, man. Good one.
Buy anything in China.
Okay, let's talk about these pinups because like I said, I'm sure that these guys are nice guys, but the pinups aren't very good. So let's judge, at least in my opinion. Okay, so here's Rogue.
The Rogue one is probably the best one out of all of them.
I'm somebody who's all about the pinups and the cheesecake. If you guys look at the thumbnails for Comic Book Curation going back some 80 whatever the fuck episodes, yeah, I'm really into Western comic book girls are great. A lot of people are into their anime waifus. I like Western comic book girls, whatever. But this ain't it, Chief. This ain't it.
Why she got saggy grandma boobs?
Well, okay, the boobage is a particular point here. The boobage is the same on every single woman. Here, let's just go. So here's Psylocke. like this is over the top hentai boobage.
Yeah, Asian women not many Asian women have boobs like that are natural.
And then, here's Jean Grey. What's happening here? I just don't like, and all of them have such small faces and such overly large hair.
Yeah.
I'm all for pinups. Like I said, I just don't think they're very good.
And if you look at the proportions too, if you like hold your finger up to it, like if you go to your thumb and then everything, her boobs are the same size as her head.
Oh, at least, yeah. That hair is out of control in those boobs. Somebody's got weird fetishes. That's what this looks like.
Yeah,
gigantic tits. Yeah. We're talking like GH cup.
Like her head is way too small, and she's got like a Medusa from Marvel Comics going on with the super large red hair.
Yeah, somebody had like Cheryl Teague's fixation and gigantic boob fetish at the same time. I don't like that. No, it's not, the proportions are wrong. Not just like the boobs, but like the physical head size compared to the waist to hip ratio is all screwed up. Yeah, they're okay pictures, but they're not professional level, and I don't understand what this has to do with anything.
Well, they got controversy over it, right?
Why? Because they're badly done?
No, not really. They
no.
No. It's just like saying like this person who I just brought up this article because I'm really into Western comic book girl pinup stuff because a lot of it's really cool.
Yeah.
And now the page is totally here we go. Yeah, it was just about this guy who's running an Indiegogo for Cyborg USA also put up some commissions for sexy X-Men. And I was like, oh, really? That's cool. And they used like a Jim Lee cover from the classic 281 X-Men. where Jim Lee shows the new team and the way that he's drawing them and everything. And I'm like, oh shit, it's going to be like after like Jim Lee's sexification and awesomeification of the male figures. And no, it's they're weird, in my opinion. But
yeah, dude, they used to release pinup comics all the time, like the summer specials and stuff like that. Those were really good.
Yeah.
And this is trash.
Yeah, like I said,
They're
I'm
not
sure
trash. They're not great.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with Quiz. It's like I was just disappointed. I was just like, really? Okay, well, I hope you guys didn't pay too much for those. I'm sure they're great guys, the people who did this, and I'm not trying to insult them directly, but just offer my opinion.
I think I was the one that linked this article. I did it mainly because number one, pinups. Number two, it was an indie comic person that did pinups for X-Men. So
yeah,
I
so
don't know.
Prescient for especially us.
It's not hideous. It's just not good, and I don't like it. So
Yeah.
I'm going to complain about it.
The thing that stands out to me
Thank you, Johnny Hellcat.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. If something is good for you and tastes bad, how do we know poop doesn't taste like candy?
I'll live with the mystery.
Yeah.
There's certain things where I'm just like, I'm good.
Hold on, there's something in chat. Gamer Valine said Iceman was a pretty boy in the movies. Yeah, he was the big man on campus that was like chasing around fucking girls and stuff, and then Cena Grace got his hands on
I
him.
am drunk, so drunk, I cannot get up.
And speaking of Gamer Valine, thank you very much for the $2. That's 70s hair with an anime body model. The waist pinup is not supposed to appear as if they're missing ribs. The waist in a pinup is not supposed to appear as if they're missing ribs. Yeah, there's all sorts of proportion problems going on there. The hips are oddly wide for, I got all sorts of problems with them, and just how small their heads are makes them look freakish. Right?
Yeah. Real quick, if you guys haven't checked Twitter, Frosted Glass posted a relevant Star Trek picture. And thank you, Evolved Potato. Pete and I must have been to the same wet market. I sold the baby and the old lady I took from the hospital. Those Chinese really use whatever they have.
Functional tells the truth, and it's the full and complete truth. After Enterprise, it was all Alex Kurtzman, and he's a complete fucking hack. Yeah, the person behind the majority of all things that have gone wrong with Trek is Kurtzman. They gave that guy more or less complete creative control. That's fucking Discovery. That's the angle that Discovery went. That's casting the actors. That's script approval. Thank you, Kurtzman, for believing the hype that your friends told you that you were awesome, because your ideas fucking suck. You managed to piss off everybody. Anyway, what article should we go with next? Well, we're already angry. Let's see what Gail Simone's up to. There we go.
Yeah.
Gail Simone issues #Comic Writers Challenge to raise funds for Black Lives Matter. Look at all the white people. I love that CBR picked this picture. It's
it's the white woman's guilt.
Right?
Oh my God. That is the whitest white people ever.
I know. And it's like, CBR, did you know what you were doing when you picked this picture? Because it's like, I don't understand. Did Gail Simone write this comic? Like, why this particular picture? And why are there hentai tentacles coming in and out of it?
Well, I have noticed one very important thing. It's not an exclusive.
Right. True. Gail Simone is auctioning off original Wonder Woman comics to benefit Black Lives Matter, and she's asked fellow writers to do the same. What, is this something out of her personal collection? Let's find out.
Jim Lee's also selling a bunch of art for Black Lives Matter.
Oh, good for them. Gail Simone issued a challenge to her fellow comic book writers to auction off personal pieces of art to benefit Black Lives Matter. A response to comic book readers' call for action. The #Comic Writers Challenge was issued during a lengthy Twitter thread from Simone. Really? Gail Simone did a lengthy Twitter thread? That's so unlike her, where she announced plans to auction off an original piece of artwork from George Perez, who asked her to write the very last Wonder Woman story he illustrated. In addition to the artwork, Simone is also auctioning off a script signed featuring Wonder Woman meeting Star Blossom, along with a package includes a signed and personalized Wonder Woman omnibus. Interested parties can bid on the items using #WonderWomanLot. Okay, you know what? there's a reason I named this stream, this particular episode, Comic Pros, Black Lives Matter, and Antifa, who's surprised. Because of course they do. And it's not all comics pros, it's just the same usual suspects again and again, and the people going along to get along. Looking at you, Jim Lee. What bugs me about it in a very exacerbate, what's the word I'm looking for? Bored.
Desperate.
Bored. Yeah.
Bored.
In a very bored way, because it's this, like, I mean, these are the same people that, you know, did you guys forget it's Pride Month? You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
You guys totally forgot it was Pride Month, didn't you? You know what's not on Gail?
Black Lives Matters.
Yeah. Do you know what's not on Gail Simone's Twitter? The Pride flag.
A rainbow flag?
Yeah. She forgot. She said,
Just like Bethesda Middle East.
Exactly. All of you people on Twitter that are pushing, like, let's support BLM, et cetera, completely forgot that this is the middle of Pride Month. It's almost like you guys are following trends. Because last year you were all gay as fuck. Pride all the way last June. This June, oh, well, we got more important things. Well, you know, speaking of more important things, it was only last month that every one of you was saying, stay inside, don't listen to that evil Trump, you're all going to die of COVID, you can't go to your grandmother's funeral or your house of worship or anything like that, and stay 6 feet away from everyone else, you fucking fascist. Ah! A month later, let's all get together in large group without masks and cause violence and protest. It's almost like you're following trends and you don't believe anything you're fucking saying. You're just hoping that people think you do.
Look, I would gladly take some George Perez artwork in exchange for giving a tune-up to her little mobility cart.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'm
Yeah.
I'm going to get George Perez art from her.
Oh,
Sad.
God.
Well said. And I got
Sure, that was being out, but fuck that bitch.
Hey, Pete, what's going on? The chat that is on my screen, the pop-out, is probably so ridiculously far behind the actual chat. Oh, shit. It always runs slow when lagging, and it's lagging like crazy right now. But let's talk about something that I pointed out to my IRL friends. Let's give money to Black Lives Matter. Let's donate money to Black Lives Matter. George Soros gave $30 million in 2016 to Black Lives Matter. Over $100 million since 2016, since this whole thing started. And it used to be the George Floyd riots. It is now the Black Lives Matter riots. They've officially branded it. Give money to Black Lives Matter, bringing in dozens of millions of dollars for that organization. Well, let's talk about that for just a really quick second. It is an organization. They have a president. They have a secretary. They have a treasurer. It's a complete organization of people with a hierarchy. Can you name any one of them? People that are saying give them money. Can you, Gail Simone? What is it they're going to do with that money? Have you read their manifesto, the Black Lives Matter manifesto? Because I have. It's a bunch of Marxist tripe. It's a nightmare. Have you've read it, Jack?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, it's pure Marxist tripe, am I right?
Yeah, it's like cut and paste out of the Communist Manifesto with an ethnic spin.
It is. It's class warfare with race inserted for class. That's it. It is full-on identitarian politics. And yes, one of their manifesto items from years ago, when they established themselves as an organization, is we need to get rid of the police. And now they've got everybody chanting it. You're giving millions of dollars to an organization you don't know who any of them are. I don't even think you're aware that it's an organization that has a structure and a hierarchy and etc. That they've got local chapters. Can you tell me who they are, Gail Simone? You're saying let's all raise money for them. Okay, sounds like a good cause. What's the cause do? Well, they're for the lives of black people. Okay, by doing what? Can you tell me? I bet you don't know. What are you doing? You're not giving money to like the United Negro College Fund. You're not giving money to the Rainbow Coalition. You're not giving money to organizations that actually say what they're doing and produce public statements of where their money's going, especially in the form of their tax returns, etc. You've got a relatively recent organization that's been dumped money by a real-life Bond villain, Palpatine George Soros, and you're all saying, yeah, let's fund the things, let's piggyback on Soros's idea, the guy who wants a global, communist, borderless world. Does this sound like a good idea to anyone?
Have you been to Home Depot or Lowe's lately? Do you know how expensive bricks are? Rioting is not inexpensive if you're plotting it out. It's really not.
Like, I'm not even saying that Gail Smoke can do whatever she wants with her time and her personal art because it's her property. And if she wants to auction it off and give the money away to a given organization, that's entirely up to her. I'm just saying, Gail, who are these people and what are they going to do with your money? Do you even know? I'm willing to bet $20 to Black Lives Matter that you don't know.
Well, her virtue is more important than anything else, and it's about helping people, and that's super important. See, so that's all that really matters and stuff.
It's the feigned altruism, the fake altruism that really is the thing that sticks in people's craw. It's the fact that you are just parroting and puppeting the position rather than actually holding any convictions of your own.
Look, convictions get you in trouble with the state and the party, whereas just going along to get along gets you head pats and gets you a better social credit score under our communist leaders' ideals. So you should stop with your wrong think quiz and join the party, or you don't get to travel.
Well, you know what? I'm definitely not going to be the one who's going to be pouring the victory gin.
Well, then I will see you at the camp.
The victory gin. Nice inside reference. I like it. Okay, let's talk about this lunatic because he's up to, well, same things he's always up to. It says founder, it's actually co-founder. Image co-founder Eric Larson defends Antifa. No one should be surprised by this, and thank you for archiving this, by the way, Jack.
Yes.
This Eric Larson's a lunatic. When doesn't he take the radical position? When doesn't this guy carry on? Remember the coverage of Savage Dragon endorsing Barack Obama for president, like in the most senseless fucking way ever? It's Savage Dragon in a suit saying, literally with a word bubble beside his head saying, I endorse Barack Obama for president of the United States. Like, you're a fucking loon, Eric Larson.
He's a weirdo. But a lot of these guys that came out said on Twitter that they support Antifa, I archived all their coming out page things where they put up the little bubble thing with the Antifa logo. Yeah. I archived all of them and posted it on Twitter so that it'd be out there for everybody. Because fuck these guys. Don't let them backtrack on this shit. We need to know what they really believe. Well, Eric Larson's anti-American piece of shit.
I hear you, and that's why I say thank you for archiving it, because it has the tweets within it archived and they're live tweets inside of bounding into comics. So if they delete the tweet disappears from the article as well, even if bounding keeps their article up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, and backtrack off of it. Well, yeah, as soon as Antifa gets bold enough to fucking kill somebody, Eric Larson and his fellow Champagne Socialist buddies are going to suddenly want to back off of backing a terrorist organization. Because you don't think that Antifa is going to eventually get bubbled up enough to go do something fucking really fucking stupid? Because I think they are. I don't know that they are, but it's a safe bet.
Well, they did just see 6 city blocks in Seattle. That's not
Yeah, how'd that go for them?
Well, they're already instituting breadlines, so yeah. I think that they're living the communist dream.
Well, let's see. At the end of May, amid riots and looting taking over multiple cities in the United States, President Donald Trump took to Twitter where he wrote, quote, "The United States of America will be designating Antifa as a terrorist organization," and rightly so. President Trump's statement on Twitter would be echoed by Attorney General Barr. Oh, and Savage Dragon, motherfucker. Barr stated, federal law enforcement actions will be directed at apprehending and charging the violent radical agitators who have hijacked peaceful protests and are engaged in violations of federal law. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. He added to identify criminal organizers and instigators to coordinate federal resources with our state and local partners. Federal law enforcement is using our existing network of 56 regional FBI joint terrorism task force is... Barr concluded the violence, blah, blah, blah. Yes, Antifa's bad. You don't need to convince me. And that they're a legitimate terrorist organization. I agree. They are structured and they are organized and they are a network and they move from city to city. So it makes it a very much federal concern. President Trump's statement and Attorney General Barr's comments come after a 2017 report in Politico. Yeah, okay, let's see what our friend and Larson said. In response to President Trump's declaration, Eric Larson defended the violent organization, writing, quote, "Antifa means anti-fascist, and it's not an actual organization, but an ideology. The United States was Antifa when we went after Hitler during World War II.
'Cause those are the same things.
When you went after Hitler? You mean when you went after the actual fascists in Italy? Is that what you meant, Eric Larson? Or are you just saying things? Because you went after National Socialists when you went after Hitler. Or are you just saying, I think he's just saying things, guys.
I think he has no concept of history, and he's kind of dumb.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
we fought fascism in World War II. Yeah, it had taken over Italy. There's the origins of fascism right there, the fascist party. Headed by Benito Mussolini. You were thinking Hitler was a fascist, not a National Socialist. But you like socialism, don't you? So let's not talk about that. Let's see what he said next. If being an anti-fascist is a problem in the United States, that in itself is a problem. No American should be pro-fascist, especially not the President of the United States. Let me ask you something, Eric Larson. Since names mean everything, they call themselves anti-fascists, so they must be anti-fascists, right? They're not fascists in themselves. They're not a violent organization of themselves, right? So we could conclude justly that the Democratic Republic of the Congo is both a democratic land area that has a democratic political system, and that is also a republic that is led by Republican values, right?
Yeah, just like the Republic of North Korea.
Right.
the DKRP,
Neither of those
yeah.
places are living nightmare hellholes at all. And we know that because of their name.
That's just Western propaganda.
I mean, seriously, it's called anti-fascist. Yeah, and it's called the Democratic Republic of the Congo. What's your fucking point?
And if you look at the Communist Party headquarters in 1932 in Berlin, you'll see the anti-fascist slogan with their symbol right next to the communist flag. That's dumb. They're communists. Just say it. Stop trying to dance around it and pretend. Just come out and say you're a commie. It's okay.
Oh no, he doesn't want it. No, I hear you, but he's not a commie. He's a champagne socialist because Eric Larson is a very, very wealthy man at the head and the chief editor of Image Comics. He's an extremely wealthy man. He wants his money. He wants his gated community with armed guards and driving around in private cars and going on vacations. He loves all that shit. He loves capital and private ownership of property. He just loves shooting his mouth off and feeling like an edgelord in and around socialism. Let's help all the little people that he never talks to.
Look, no, that's not true. That's just the pretense that he's living. He seriously just wants to live like a rice paddy farmer in China. And I think we should make his dreams come true. We'll trade him for a Hong Kong dissident.
Yeah, literally any one of them. I'm okay with that.
And they can have his money and he can go live in China.
Really quick, thank you, Evolved Potato, for the donation. Just to let everyone know, the terrorists in Seattle, because that's where they are. And they are planning to increase their area. And the Seattle police are standing down.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised that when they're increasing their... Because, I mean, who wants a confrontation? Because the Seattle mayor is like a pussy, in my opinion. He's a pussy. Yeah. It's like the mayor of Minneapolis is a huge pussy. He thought when he was going to get elected, he thought when he was elected, he thought what he was signing up to run for was cocktail parties and power and notoriety. He didn't think he would have to actually make any hard decisions. And unsurprisingly, it's like, are you going to defund the police? And he tells an organization, no, we're looking at other things than that. And they start screaming, get the fuck out, chanting at him, get the fuck out. Did you think apologizing was going to work? Did you think that there wouldn't be any hard decisions in this job? You didn't think there were going to be race riots when you signed up to be mayor, did you? You were a pretty boy fucking mannequin running to hang out at cocktail parties. And you found out shit ain't like that. And we found out what you're made of. Jello.
Yeah. Well, Seattle, they're going to end up having to call the National Guard in.
It's going to have to be the governor of Washington. I don't think the mayor's going to do it. That guy?
No. I don't know if the governor will do it either, but somebody's going to have to make the decision because it's going to get out of hand way worse than it already has. Seattle's been a dump for a long time, which is a shame because it's actually a pretty city.
Well, let's see. Eric Larson goes on to say, it's like arguing that the feminists are a terrorist organization when one causes trouble. It's not a unified body with a leader and whatnot. Oh, yeah? Yeah? Do you support Black Lives Matter? Because they have a leadership body like I was just talking about. Do you even know who they are, Eric Larson? I bet you support them. I it's not an organization, it's a movement. This guy does not mind throwing around labels of alt-writers and comic skaters, and I know everything about them. And because War Campaign does something, anybody who says hashtag comicsgate is suddenly responsible for something that War Campaign did or whatever. This guy's a huge fan of that. And now this organization, I mean, they're going after people that are involved in the organization, not anybody who happens to have a fucking Antifa flag in their bedroom, in their dorm. Anyway, fuck you, Eric Larson. I mean, nothing new going on.
Yeah, fuck him and all the other little traitors that are joining these ranks. Because there's a lot of them. It was surprising how many people I saw posting their support for Antifa.
Well, speaking of people like that, Marvel Comics artist Ahmud Assar and Frank Cho appear to endorse Antifa after President Trump declares Antifa will be classified as a terrorist organization. Let's just zip right down to their tweets, guys.
Hey, Frank Cho. Can I bring up literally any one of your drawings during your little scandal with Spider Gwen in the background and just go outrage for any of the comments that you make in this?
Well, this is how he tries to get back in good graces.
Yeah. So he tweets out this picture, comics artists against fascism, with the text, "Fuck Trump." Oh, you're so bold, Frank Cho. Hey, listen, let me ask you something, Frank Cho. You have any problem with the Chinese communists? Now, why would I? Do you?
Let's not talk about that now.
Well, well, why asking him? Because he's Asian? No, I'm asking him because he seems to have every opinion in the world when it's picking low-hanging fruit like fuck Trump. That's only going to get you cheers on fucking Twitter, and you know it. You're kind of a bitch, aren't you? And then Jeff Lemire, shockingly, tweets it out. Jeff Lemire, you're like a pretty good writer. What the fuck are you doing? I mean, what the fuck are any of these guys doing? And I mean, are you trying to tell me comics artists against fascism? And I saw Frank Cho saying you guys are reading into it that it's not meant to look like the Antifa flag. Are you sure? Like, I mean, seriously, look at this.
Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah.
You guys,
and that's deliberate choice.
Yeah. And it happens on this, and you guys tweet this out on the same fucking day that Donald Trump tweets that Antifa is going to be called labeled as a terrorist organization, like for the purposes of federal investigation and law enforcement.
I think all these guys should be named as potential sympathizers and investigated because pretty obvious they're supporting a terrorist organization.
Of all potatoes is Gamer Valine. He's talking to her, but I couldn't help but insert myself into this conversation. According to my research, lesbians are all very attractive. Well,
wow, that's an old one though, dude.
I'm just saying, man.
It's funny. I love it. Yeah, but yeah.
I just love that idea because I mean you haven't seen Bonk Forehead. What's her name?
Ellen Page.
Ellen Page lately, have you? I mean, there's a real lesbian. I mean, I'm talking flannel and combat boots, the whole 9 yards, and I'm not even making that up. That's literally the way she dresses now. It's Thank you, Gamer Valine, for the donation. The president can call them in. That's the policy passed in the Bush era. The sanest response I've seen is Apple just saying we are honoring black music artists. Sent you and Jack a press release from Intel. AMD is doing the same. Buttle, Intel, put a dollar amount. Intel put a dollar amount. That's actually an interesting idea. We support black artists because then you're saying something as opposed to like this Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? Just saying it generally, and I'm going to give money to this organization, though I know not who they are nor what they do. It's like, let's support the artists that are on their platform to promote them because supposedly they're oppressed, and if indeed they are, then they deserve promotion. That's an interesting point, Gamer Valine.
If your channel's monetized, you can do a fundraiser for BLM with your video revenue. I've seen a couple of people do that already, so
I wouldn't. This is entirely my opinion. I wouldn't suggest doing that unless you know who Black Lives Matter are specifically in terms of like, can you tell me who their leadership is? Can you tell me who their founders are? And I'm saying for you, because you're saying you want to raise money for them. Can you tell me what they're going to do with the money? At the very least, read their manifesto. That's all I suggest. And up until you do that, there's other organizations that support the betterment of African Americans that you can give to, and you do, or you can easily find out who they are and what they're up to and where their money's gone in the past. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, if you're going to do a charity stream, do it for something that you actually know what the fuck it is and what it's up to.
Right, sure. I can agree with that. That's the reason why the only charity I would ever give to is St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
St. Jude's and Pornhub.
Yeah, St. Jude's is pretty awesome. Actually, there's a number if you're looking for a charity to give to, and I know it's Pride Month, forgottenly, but it is, and it's current riots and stuff. But like first responders charities, because a whole lot of them are getting caught up in the mix, and I'm talking specifically about ambulance drivers, EMTs, emergency medical care. Those people are in hard spots, and yeah. You know, most of them can often get paid minimum wage in the places they work, depending on the city and county. I mean,
yep.
Emergency medical first responders are, Jesus, man, they're always catching it. I know a few people that are involved in that, and I've heard the stories for a long time, and it's like they're looking to give something. There's something to think about. You can do whatever you want with your money, because I'm not a communist. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. Food for thought.
Yeah, and Salvation Army, because they go to the disaster sites after they burn a house down and help people out. Seems good
I
stuff.
am telling you what you do to your money. Donate to those organizations, not Black Lives Matter. There you go.
Yeah, and if nothing else, you don't want to give to any organization, feel free to check out our Streamlabs links.
Oh yeah, lest we forget, you can always give to us if there's money burning a hole in your pocket. $5. That'll never not be funny.
Yeah, it really won't.
What was that dumb bitch's name?
Which one?
Yeah. The $5 girl. I've already forgotten her name, but that clip will live in infamy, if only because of Sinatra Says his channel.
Right?
The one you're thinking of is Invader Vibe, but what about the other one, the
Invader
socialist
V.
one?
Invader V.
Invader V, yeah. What about the other one, the socialist one? The one that gets all righteously indignant. It's like, I've been streaming for 30 minutes and no one has subscribed.
Yeah, I remember that.
How dare you watch for 30 minutes and no one subscribed?
Yeah. And she's wondering how many engineers are out there, Invader V. She's very curious. How dare you watch for free? Hey, chat. A lot of you are watching me for free right now, watching Quiz and Jag for free. That's cool. All we ask is go ahead and retweet the tweet that we sent out promoting the show earlier, or like the stream. That's plenty if you don't have money to give. $5. Fuck. Can you imagine making your living being that much of a bottom feeder? Fucking hell.
Hammond just told us that was somebody named Bad Bunny.
Yeah, Bad Bunny. Yeah.
Bad Bunny's the girl who's got her feet up on the chair screaming $5 into her mic?
Yeah, the one who's like tucking her knees up next to her face. Yeah, it's Bad Bunny.
Yeah. And I think from now on we should stop with the Invader V stuff. Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's who she really is.
Well, that's her other name.
Originally she was Tyrannosaurus Rex, her handle on Twitter. It was great. And Mike Parlett gives me the $5 to say, how dare you?
How dare you?
Look, it's a hard life out there being a 5. That's all I'm saying.
I just can't imagine.
No, you know what?
That being effective. But no.
I won't even say she's a 5. I think that she's a solid 7 or 8, man. Invader V? Hell yeah, man. She's definitely fuckable.
When she started talking, she certainly came across as a 5.
Oh, so yeah, she's definitely lowered. Yeah, all you got to do is just you clamp your hand over her face so she can't talk. That's all I'm saying.
Actually, Matt at Winter pointed something out that I didn't know. The full saying, Polly, is sober as a priest on Sunday. I didn't know that.
Well, that doesn't work either, because the Sunday's when you drink the wine.
As part of a sacrament. You're not sitting there glugging from the bottle of sacramental booze.
I'm just saying, the reason why it doesn't work is because they drink wine more than a Mormon does. Mormon's supposed to abstain from all alcohol. So a priest on Sunday, that's the worst, because that is literally the day that, regardless of any other thing, they are drinking wine.
Oh, well, that's the day that everybody comes to them with their bullshit problems, like, oh, my husband's cheating on me, blah, blah, blah.
No, that's Jack. That's a real problem. That's not.
That's not my problem.
But it is the priest Okay, I think you've lost the plot, my
You have
friend.
no evidence of that. That sounds like something to take up directly with the Lord.
You're going on hour 27 without sleep now?
Yeah, roughly.
Okay, all right.
Good God. Get some sleep, bro.
Just checking. Just check, because it seems like it, and I want everyone to be aware. You know what?
Yeah, don't make excuses for my lack of hilarity tonight. You're not my real mom, Quiz. I'll sleep when I want.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Ham and Beans. I love your name, but I don't like your comment. Jessica Alba. What is this? The early 2000s? Wait, no. Hold on. She is inimitably hot. Like the same way that if you go look at Noir Bar, I've got pictures up of Ava Gardner. Okay. Well, what is this? Like 1948? Well, actually, at Noir Bar, it's 42. But the point is, there's some women that are timelessly beautiful. What I'm getting at. And I've also got Smooth Yoda up on screen now. I mean, there's all sorts of weird shit in that bottom right-hand corner. I wouldn't read too much into it. But,
Smooth Yoda's creepy.
Well, that's why he's there. It's hilarious. You want to talk about creepy people? Let's talk about the Wachowski sisters, formerly brothers. Lily Wachowski claims The Matrix was born out of rage at capitalism. I don't care.
Okay.
I can go with Wachowski if you want. That's fine.
I don't know, man.
It kind of looks like Wachowski. Why don't we go with that? Okay. Let me see. Lily Wachowski claims The Matrix was born out of rage at capitalism, even though it made now her a millionaire. Willie Wachowski wrote and directed The Matrix with Lana Wachowski. Recently detailed, the film was born out of a rage at capitalism and a corporatized structure that forms oppression. Wachowski, who recently made the headlines after going after Elon Musk and Ivanka Trump, who stated they had taken the red pill. Because that's my art. Don't you dare talk about it. Yeah, there it is. Take the red pill, Elon Musk says. Ivanka Trump says taken. And Wachowski comes back and says, fuck both of you. I haven't made a good movie since, oh my God, my ideas are terrible. And I only ever had one good idea with my brother, sister. We ripped it all off from Dark City. Shut up, it's ours.
And Dreamscape.
And Terminator.
We were talking about this before we went live. The first Matrix film is really good, but extremely derivative. Like, it's everything that you like about it is from somewhere better. And can we talk about like that whole idea of how do you know what's real? It's just electrical signals interpreted by your brain, as Morpheus says to Neo. Okay, yeah, that whole idea was taken from Rene Descartes from 1645. So, I mean, they've been ripping off shit that's centuries old at this point. Anyway, Wachowski explained, I got in
also,
when... What's up?
I have to bring up one very important thing, Polly.
Sure.
You said that it was good. I take issue with that.
Oh, come on.
You call me a contrarian if you want, but there was no such thing as a good Matrix movie.
But you don't like so many things. It makes me like, okay, what do you like? What tell me a film you fucking like. Of recent memory that isn't one of your top 10 favorites of all time. There, that's an actual challenge for you, bro.
Oh, okay.
Of recent memory that isn't one of your top 10 favorites of all time. It was just good. It was just a good film. Everyone should see it if they're interested, that kind of thing.
Blade Runner 2046 or whatever it was. I can't remember the date.
Really?
Yeah, I love that movie. I thought Jared Leto's performance in it was actually really good.
Right, Jared Leto's in it, and you're under the impression he's a good actor. I forgot it.
God damn it, Polly. Requiem for a Dream is really good. Shut up.
Yeah, but he's... Well, I was just about to say, yeah, but he's also Hot Topic Joker, but you like that movie too. So I
do, but I don't like him in that movie. That's the major difference.
All right, look, can we all agree that The Matrix is really just a knockoff of Dreamscape and Dark City?
Yes, that we can. I think we can agree.
Terminator.
Well, there's Terminator elements there, but most of the plot line is ripped off of Dreamscape and Dark City.
What, you mean like the machines rising? Oh yeah, that's definitely not Terminator.
Well, okay, but is that Terminator or is that The Soldier?
I always saw it and thought immediately of fucking Kyle Reese, man. I see Keanu Reeves' character Neo as Kyle Reese.
No, but I'm saying, why would you give credit to James Cameron, who ripped the entire story off from what's his name, who wrote it in the short story called The Soldier?
I've never read this.
Oh, really? Have you ever heard this?
No.
Yeah, he settled with him over it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the guy. Robert Mattinson? No.
Matheson.
No.
Wrote,
it's the guy who wrote City on the Edge of Forever, the Star Trek episode, and then removed his credit from it until it became one of the most popular episodes in Star Trek history and then wanted the credit back.
Yeah.
He said, you totally brutalized my script and I don't want credit for a script that isn't mine, et cetera, et cetera. Harlanson,
Harlan Ellison.
Harlan Ellison. Yeah, he wrote a short story called The Soldier that is really the Terminator. Guy comes from the future, every single story point all the way along, trying to avert Judgment Day. There's a Terminator there trying to kill the mother of the person who will defeat the machines in the future, etc. And James Cameron was like, no. See, this is Cameron's actual story, if you didn't know. He was producing Critters 2. He was directing Critters 2. I think that was it. Some real shit rubber puppet movie. And no, not directing. He was producing it because the guy who directed that's the guy who directed Lord of the Rings. What's his name?
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson directed Critters 2. Or was that Critters 1? I don't know. I'm not drunk. This is hard. Fuck.
Go get your beer, man.
I was sober as a priest on Sunday, even though before I've had the sacrament. Look.
Anyway.
I love now we have to add the caveat.
He had a fever dream, and in the fever dream was the Terminator skeleton robot attacking him, coming after and killing him. He claims that is the basis for his Terminator idea, and Harlan Ellison is full of shit. I'm like, really? You had a nightmare about a metallic skeleton chasing you? What about every single other plot point? Where'd that come from? Anyway, James Cameron's full of shit is my point.
Well, yes, I can agree with that.
To be fair, I had a buddy that told me about a dream of his where he's talked about these little monsters that would run around, and each one of them, there's two races, and they're part of the same being. And he was talking about how in the dream he had to return this shard. And I'm like, dude, that's the plot for the Dark Crystal. It's like, I knew it sounded familiar. I'm pretty sure that's what happened to James Cameron.
Quiz, how long ago did you write that comment in chat? I should see if there's a store around here that has VB and make my own conclusion.
A long time ago, dude.
That's just on my screen now.
Wow. Yeah.
That's how far behind my chat is, chat. So you guys have probably said all sorts of things that are just way the fuck.
Yeah, way early, yeah.
Because like I'm just looking in it, like Ham and Beans is talking about Trip messed up when he messed with that third gender species, and I'm like, oh my god. And then I saw your comment. It's, wow. All right. Anyway, let's talk about one of the Wachowski sisters.
Yeah.
Wachowski explained, when I got into film, when I got in when film was at its peak, before boards and marketers found a way to wrangle movies. She elaborated. Eventually, all those people and institutions ended up in the room with you, and specifically behind the typewriter, and behind the lens, and behind the Avid. Created a bit of tension for me personally. I got to this breaking point, and I had to walk away. Wachowski, who is a transgender person, goes on into detail that since she is a transgender, her films can now be viewed through the lens of transness.
No, you can't appropriate that after the fact.
Does that make sense to anyone, chat? Like anyone at all? That's such bullshit. What are you talking about?
You can't claim that after the fact. Fuck you.
She explains, quote, now that I'm out and living as a living example of someone who can grow old being a trans woman, trans people can see those films through the lens of transness and their transness. Do you think she said that word enough? What? You want to hear it again?
What does that even mean?
Yeah, I want to hear that sentence again because it doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Okay. She explains, quote, now that I'm out and a living example of someone who can grow old being a trans woman, trans people can see these films through the lens of my transness and their transness. Period.
What the fuck does that even mean?
I mean, I'd make fun of you, but honestly, this is an example of just let the person talk and the joke writes itself. Like, what the fuck?
Right?
Okay. Further, she says, they're able to go, oh my god, these films were such an important part of my coming out and my own journey. I'm extraordinarily grateful that I could offer that to those people, she adds. I want to find the trans people that say that The Matrix was part of their coming out.
I took the little red pill because that reminded me of estrogen. I
Well-
don't get this.
Okay, wait, hold on. With the fact that red pill is so prevalent amongst a lot of people making fun of quote woke culture, wouldn't that immediately invalidate all of those claims? Can you imagine any sort of trans activist saying, "Oh man, I took the red pill so hard when I awoke to the fact that I was trans"? Well, what's the other perception of that that's going to immediately happen?
They're woke.
Let's see what she... Okay, Wachowski then details that the bubbling, seething rage... Hold on, I want to read it properly. The bubbling, seething rage within me was about my own oppression, that I was forcing myself to remain in the closet.
No one forced you to do that.
Yeah, like, what? Like, well, she just said it herself. No one was forcing her. She was forcing herself. In an interview with Ken Wilber, Lana states, "You make a work of Lana. You make a work of art, and you want it to be provocative. You want people to dialogue about it. You don't want them to rely on somebody to tell them what it is. The whole nature of the movie is exactly that." Wait. Just scroll up here a little bit. You just told Elon Musk and Ivanka Trump that they completely misunderstood your art. What do you mean? And then down in this interview with Ken Wilber, you're saying, no, you can't do that. You make a work of art, you want people to dialogue, and you don't want them to rely on somebody to tell them what it is. The whole nature of the movie is exactly that. Unless, of course, you say something I disagree with, in which case I'll assert my ownership of the art again and tell you you're wrong.
Yeah. Totally allowed to do that.
Wachowski adds, it seems hypocritical. Well, maybe I jumped the gun here. Let's see. Yeah, maybe I did. Hold on. It seems hypocritical for us to go out and tell everybody what it's supposed to be about or what you're supposed to think about. And even if I was to do that, or Andy, this is a former thing when it seems hypocritical for us to go out and tell everyone that they're supposed to do that in an article years back until Ivanka and Elon Musk said something you didn't like. Yeah. Great. And even if I was to do that, or her former brother Andy was to do it in the gentlest of terms and try and contextualize it as what it means to us, it's because of the very nature of us being the creators of it. It becomes law. It becomes the interpretation. And anyone else's interpretation is just some crazy individual who really doesn't get it. I don't want to devalue anyone's opinion. I think it was one of the reasons why art is a worthwhile experience. Jesus Christ.
So, is she going to get to the part where she explains why the second and third movie were so fucking awful?
Second and third started with the first.
Well, the first one was definitely the best of the trilogy. Sorry.
It's not saying much.
No, well, I didn't say it was much, but second and third were pretentious garbage.
Oh, they were.
And the first isn't.
Well, yeah.
Rewatch the trilogy. That one was toned down compared to the flowery soliloquies in the second and third one. Oh, it's fucking painful.
All of it was painful.
No,
I've told the story a million times, talking about how a friend of mine told me to watch it because it was so deep and important. And when it gets to the part where Keanu Reeves stands up and goes, "I know Kung Fu," I'm like, "No, you don't." And I was having none of that movie ever after.
Like, I don't like the movies, but the first one was definitely better than the second and third one.
Let's just we can do
the
this.
Animatrix was better.
We can do this real quick. Newsarama is shutting down and abandoning their website URL. Let's I'll drink to that.
Yeah, let's say Bleeding Fools having a post-mortem.
Mm-hmm. If we featured articles from Newsarama, they are hot trash. Like, I mean, Rich Johnston must be fucking crying over this. One of his Confederates and pushing leftist garbage and being a fucking mouthpiece for the industry insiders for the sake of your fucking access to news. I mean, fuck you, Newsarama. Bye.
Yeah.
It's what, you couldn't pull in enough online advertising dollars? What a shock. Fuck you. You ran as an industry mouthpiece. You ran as an ideological garbage trash site. Well, You know, I don't want to see anyone's business fail unless you run it as transparently and as you guys did. Fuck you. Bye. I don't know. Do you guys got anything to add to Newsarama going away? Because I don't give a fuck. Fuck them.
I'm surprised it took so long.
You said transparent so much that I thought you might have been talking about the Wachowski sisters again.
Really?
But tish. I mean, I need a stream deck so I can immediately, do my rim shot myself.
Yeah. See, Prop City Podcast says Jim Morrison is twice the corpse you are. Well, he said that probably about 45 minutes ago, but that was
probably. Yeah.
That's funny as fuck, nonetheless. We should have dealt with this article earlier when we were talking about the Enterprise episode that's so transphobic. Harry Potter scribe J.K. Rowling, quote, "If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased." Oh my God, you transphobe?
J.K. Rowling is pathetic. Everything that's coming out of her stupid mouth is an attempt to remain relevant. People, it's really not that hard. There's a whole subreddit, and we all know how Reddit is garbage, okay? There's a whole subreddit completely dedicated to it. Read another book.
Right? Well, to be fair, she's like one of the richest women on the planet. She doesn't need to get this constant attention fed to her. She's rich, like super rich. She could just rent friends. I don't understand this. This is
as true as that may be. Rich people are usually some of the most overall unfulfilled, and I'm not shocked that she isn't a hollow, empty person.
Well,
she's rich, and she's filling it with virtue signaling.
Well, okay, no, hold on. She fills it with virtue signaling, except on the one issue, which is weird. It's almost like broadcasting your ideas. I mean, it's going to get her hated on, or is anyone going to cancel J.K. Rowling? I doubt it, but look at these lines. Men cannot change into women. And her original tweet that got her so much trouble. Quote, "Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who have you, live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real? Men cannot turn into women. Full stop." And it's like, okay, well, you're a transphobe. So you might support Black Lives Matter. You might want to retroactively make all of your characters gay. You might want to, while living in a literal castle, talk about how oppressive the United States is for its entire history. But you really, really hate those trans people, don't you? Huh. Fuck you, J.K. Rowling.
Everyone's got a cause, Polly.
Yeah, fucking science.
I have one last article before we move on to pitches.
Okay.
Yeah. Loading. Everyone see that? There it goes. This is why I want like 64 gigabytes of fucking M2 RAM, baby. I want to be able to have... Canadian-owned CBR attacks police and calls for Marvel to stop selling Punisher merchandise.
Is this part of the death cult thing?
I don't know. I just saw the headline and I'm like, yo, CBR. I didn't even know it was Canadian owned. Stop selling Punisher merchandise. I'm like, we got to get on this because I hope this is about the Punisher as part of a white death cult. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, people who wear Punisher merch are identifying as being part of a white death cult. CBR is owned by a Canadian company, Valnet Incorporated, is back at it again. They published an article by Hector Valverde titled, "Marvel Should Stop Selling Punisher Merchandise." Fuck, how did I not see this over on CBR? All right, well, then we'll just get the hot versions of it, or the hot takes out of the article here from Bounding, because Bounding into comics is awesome. They really need an editor, but they're awesome. I just... Let's not...
Can be.
The article comes on the heels of Punisher co-creator Gary Conway describing the Punisher logo as a symbol of lawless police oppression.
What?
Yeah, what? He would go on to declare that he was looking for artists to participate in a fundraising project for Black Lives Matter to reclaim the Punisher skull as a symbol of justice. Wow.
Hey, you know what? Black Lives Matter. If this isn't an indication of something to think about, I don't know what is. Regardless of what color your skin is on the outside, everyone's skull is ivory.
The article comes on the heel. Oh, wait a minute. It comes after CBR published a hit piece on Captain America on Memorial and then proceeded. No, hold on Memorial.
No, Memorial. God damn it.
Like I said, founding, I love you, but you need an editor, guys. I mean,
like I said, can be.
And then proceeded to delete it after significant blowback. I'd like to think it was from our blowback, guys.
I'd like to think so as well.
I'd like to
think we covered it here on Comic Book Curation. That contributed to it.
We flamed it, man. We went fucking nuts.
Oh yeah.
Because fuck you guys.
Burnt it to the ground. Fuck them.
And we had to do it from an archived version because those fucking spineless jellyfish cowards took it down. When the writer didn't describe the logo as a symbol of lawless police oppression, he explained why he was calling for Marvel to stop selling Punisher merchandise, saying... Oh, okay. Sorry, I misread that, or misunderstood it. He explained why he was calling for Marvel to stop selling Punisher merchandise, saying it is to, quote, stop police and military from wearing and displaying the Punisher logo. Therefore, no one should, because police and military might. He specifically argues that he wants Marvel to stop selling Punisher merchandise so it limits the police and military's ability to cop the Punisher into their public image. Well, I'm just
Frank
loving
Castle's a former Marine.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
I mean, he's copying it's a comic book character. It's like if Captain America, Steve Rogers, did something you didn't like, would you not want U.S. military and law enforcement wearing Captain America garb? I just understand. It's a comic book character. That's what they're running out. They're trying to turn it into their personal thing. He's a comic book character. He couldn't possibly exist in the real world the way he vigilantes.
Yeah,
it's
runs around just straight up murdering people.
Yeah,
it's premeditated, man.
Yeah, and he
plans it out.
He's kind of mentally unbalanced in the way that he pursues his murder. I mean, if you know what I mean, like he never tires of it. He doesn't really question what he's up to. He's in the same way of like Batman. He's a fantastical character. He's an extreme character because comic books happen in a fantastical, fictional, extreme world. Why are you reading so much realism into this?
Because they have problems with reality and fiction.
Can we just stop and appreciate the awesomeness of Bradstreet's art yet again? I mean,
right?
Fuck Bradstreet rocks. I mean, remember we had the debate like in episode 5, I think it was, when we first started, because some people don't consider Bradstreet to be an actual artist.
Yeah, using the digital art and photographs and stuff.
Yeah, the photographs, because he hires a male model, this particular male model, to pose as the Punisher, then takes a particular photograph of him, casts it onto the wall, and then does all of this inking and painting himself. But because the, what would you want to call it? The pencil work is based off of a photograph. Some artists say that he's not a real artist. I don't know.
He's as much of an artist if he does that as any other artist would be if they rotoscoped.
Oh, good example.
Yeah.
Good example. I mean, look at all the rotoscoping that happened in early Disney stuff, so their dancing and movements look more realistic and fluid.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Yeah. I just, you know me, I'm a sucker for heavy use of shadows and inks, and this guy just goes to fucking town with them, man. Bradstreet rocks.
He's great with his contrasts. Yeah.
Anyway, Valverde explains countless police officers have misguidedly appropriated the ragged skull on the Punisher's chest into a twisted symbol of justice fueled by aggression and dominance. Fuck you.
The Punisher knows that what he's doing is illegal.
Very
much
much
also
so.
knows what he's doing is wrong. In any other circumstances, if these weren't vicious, horrible killers that he was thinking that he is bringing to some semblance of justice, he wouldn't be murdering them, would he?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Scott, for the donation. If you were American warlords, what would your names be? What area or region would you want? Okay, it's interesting. Let's just scroll back up here really. Get the Punisher back on screen. Bradstreet. So we're warlords. So we're basically like vigilantes, and lawlessness has fallen onto the land. So I've got my posse of people, and we're out there and we're exacting mob justice because that's just the way the situation has become. San Francisco?
So, okay, what was the question again?
If you
It's
were
entire-
American warlords, what would your names be? And what area or region would you want? I would want San Francisco because it's a target-rich environment. What would my name be? Well, you guys go ahead. I'm gonna come up with something saucy.
I don't know. I'm not good at picking names for stuff. I'd probably steal the name I gave to the stray cat that lives in my yard, which is Lord Floofington.
That's not going to demand much respect or fear.
The
I know,
dreaded warlord, Lord Foofington.
Yeah, it kind of invites trouble, doesn't it? But I would probably go with the Duke because Duke is a number one.
Okay. Go with literal translation from Japanese. Super happy number one lucky warlord.
Oh, it's from Escape from New York.
Oh yeah. It's been so long
Duke
since I've
is
seen
a
that
number
movie
one.
because I think Goldie Hawn's wife is overrated. What's his name?
Kurt Russell.
Kurt
and
Russell.
How
his
fucking dare you?
right?
For
You could always if you're gonna go on the East Coast, you could be Corn Pop.
Yeah.
That was such legitimate anger. Holy fuck.
Yeah, Don Fluffles is a good one, Ryan.
Don Fluffles. Yeah.
Are you gonna fuck with a guy named Don Fluffles? Because it sounds like he's crazy.
I wouldn't trust him. Okay, so where were we? So what regions? You guys want to just help me out in San Francisco? Because I mean, there's a lot of work to be done there.
San Francisco's a good choice.
I'd probably take the west side of Chicago, like the Cicero, all the way out to O'Hare.
Ooh.
Yeah. And if there ever was going to be a warlord in America, it would probably happen in Chicago first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably call myself Quiz the Fink.
Is the thing. I'd probably take Daytona Beach.
Why?
You get the tourism dollars, and there is a port, so you could still have shipping lanes, get access supplies, that sort of thing. And nobody's really going to pay much attention to it if you're running it, because unless they're going to go vacation on the beach, the fuck are you going to come take me over for? It's nothing there.
So you want to? If it's
I won't be a very good warlord.
Right, no shit. If it's like a land of milk and honey that tourists are still going to, you don't need warlords there. I mean, do you think that they've got fucking a great tourist industry going on in the Congo or in East
I haven't
Timor?
slept in like 28 hours, so my thinking process isn't that good. Otherwise, I would claim the Smoky Mountain region because then nobody will bother me, and I can live alone in my hermit shack and be warlord of one.
I was about to say, I'm warlord of one.
Well, I was gonna say you could always just, for fun, light it all on fire, like happened to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. But
Well,
right,
yeah.
let's see where this article ends for, because we got to get pitches and get out of here. Okay, the article then absurdly claims that Marvel is at least indebted to cutting off the commercial traffic of these products and the hazardous messages they convey. CBR and Ver make it clear that the goal of the article has nothing to do with the Punisher. It has everything to do with the people using the Punisher logo. As Ver clearly writes, he wants Marvel to stop selling the logo, specifically to limit it to the police and military's ability to cop the Punisher into their public image. You already wrote that in this article, man. You already used that. Oh, god damn. Bounding.
I like bounding, but man, stop repeating yourselves. That's what CBR does.
If police and military were using the X-Men symbol, I'm sure CBR and Ver would have published an article titled Marvel Should Stop Selling X-Men Merchandise. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It would. I think we get the whole point. Many of the major organizations spouting this rhetoric as Black Lives Matter and the Movement for Black Lives, which have called on police departments nationwide to be defunded. Yeah, no, obviously. This is... Man, fuck off. Fuck you guys. Bunch of more. It's a fictional character, for God fucking sake. I don't know. whoever, like 20th Century Fox stopped selling its old westerns because a lot of you know, the hero with 2 6 guns is a big image in American mythology. I mean, that's all that's going on here. What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, it's just censorship shit. I mean, look at HBO Max pulled Gone with the Wind because of the depictions of slavery. Never mind the fact that the first black woman to ever win an Academy Award is in the movie.
Yeah, that's a very good point. No, I just keep thinking back to Ben Affleck in Chasing Amy. Fictional characters.
Well, yeah, Ben Affleck's the last one to reference. He was marching with the fucking marchers in downtown LA. Because that
movie was good though.
That guy's got massive guilt issues.
Yes, he does.
I mean, he does like white guilt issues. Like, not only does he have like the generalized hand wringing that most spineless Hollywood morons have. It's like, Ben, everyone was making fun of you as an actor for years and years, and then you started dating Jennifer Lopez, and everyone was making fun of you as like, you know, her newest accessory. I think you were like a terrible actor, and it was only your attachment to Matt Damon that made you anything. Then you started writing and directing your own films, and you became a big fucking deal. You won an Academy Award for Best Director of Argo, which is a really good fucking movie. It's historically bullshit, but it's a really good fucking movie. And The Town from 2010 is fucking epic. You are a success. Why are you running around hanging out on Bill Maher's show talking about Islamophobia as gross and racist, and that's a quote, and then going on to fucking PBS shows to track your family history to find out you were related to a fucking slave owner, and therefore you fucking need to spend the rest of your life making amends. Affleck, for Christ's sake, handle these problems in therapy. Grow a fucking spine. You are not responsible for others' actions who happen to share your skin color.
Holly, spines are patriarchy. We all know that.
Well, it's even worse for Ben Affleck because like he does all this, and this is after he got out of rehab, mind you.
Yeah, but these celebrities are weirdos with guilt problems anyway, and because they all do weird, fucked up stuff. But I don't know. It's the censorship stuff that should worry us more, because if they can get enough stuff canceled through their sad little virtue signaling, it's going to destroy the art industry and the creatives in general. Because look at all the people they're alienating and trying to destroy, and all the fucking crybaby artists and writers that threw up the Antifa logos.
True.
It's about, you know, they're willing to give up everything to supplicate to the masses for PP touches.
All I gotta say, man, is like, regardless of all of this shit that was going on, fucking Sam Neill made an amazing 2-person like small little indie vignette on Twitter, and it was amazing, and it completely made you forget about the coronavirus and the race riots. It was fucking fantastic. Sam Neill is a treasure.
Yeah.
Yes, I know you didn't like the Event Horizon, Polly.
I don't know how you don't like that movie, dude.
I know, right? It's such a great movie.
One line. We discovered a dimension of pure evil.
Evil, yeah.
It looks a lot like Seattle.
I mean, come on, it's pretty.
Lawrence Fishburne is a fucking national treasure and a half, man. They should be a statue to that man, because he's an awesome actor, and I don't know why you hate a movie with so much talent in it.
Lawrence Fishburne, Sam Neill, that
blonde chick.
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Blonde chick.
It's
a technical name. That's her stage name, so it's okay.
Fuck! I popped chat back into the fucking YouTube studio, so I could like to see if it would reset it, so I could read what chat is currently saying. Oh my god! It went back to Gamer Valine talking about Apple uploads and shit. That's how
great. That fixed it.
Yeah. So I'm refreshing the page. Let's see what people have been talking about for the past 25-35 minutes that I've been completely unaware of.
See, Fatty 057. Yeah, he knows what's up. Liberate tutame ex infernus. Thank you. Yes.
Is that some faux Latin from 40K?
No, it's from fucking Event Horizon, dude.
Oh. Remember that scene? Remember that scene where
Save Me from Hell,
where Sam Neill explains folded space warp travel with the pen and the fucking
Yeah, yeah.
you know that scene came right out of another fucking movie, right? Like
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
What movie?
I don't remember. It was a she's like, man, what is so good about that movie? I mean, you've got a problem with the Matrix,
It's a
and
great movie.
Can you just admit that people have read into it as like 40K proto fiction?
Yeah, I could say that. Yeah. But you know what? I'm perfectly fine with it because it's a great movie. In terms of like the actual craft, cinematography, the horror aspect, I very rarely ever find a sci-fi horror movie to be actually, I don't know, convincingly horrific.
Oh, holy Christ! I've got up to date chat.
Oh my God.
I know.
I've never seen a sci-fi movie that's been convincingly horrific. You know what I mean? Like Aliens is kind of close. Well, not Aliens, Alien, the first movie, was kind of close, but I've never really gotten. You don't get scared in a sci-fi movie. At least I never have.
Mhm.
And the closest I ever have been was with Event Horizon.
Okay.
I think it set the stage for a lot of good stuff, including Dead Space, which is a great game series.
Okay.
A
I
whole
was going to
bunch
say
of
I've never heard of that movie. Apparently it wasn't a movie.
Oh no, there's actually a really good animated event or Dead Space movie.
I hate animated movies, and that one was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good.
The makers
Space is
of
great.
Mortal Kombat the movie made Event Horizon. Well, I've seen the Mortal Kombat movie. They're in good company together then.
The first Mortal Kombat movie is fantastic. What are you talking about?
Defi-
In terms of a video game movie, it's perfectly passable.
It's fantastic being defined as passable. Well, that tells me a
Well,
lot
in
about your
terms of
standards.
a video game movie, it's fantastic. All right,
And
All
they
right.
yell-
the bar is really low.
All right, let's move
You heard
on.
it here first. Quiz hates House of the Dead.
Yes, I do. Fuck it, I'll fight you, Uwe Boll. Come on, bring it on. I'll kick your dwarf ass.
Let's Critters 2. Now there's a frightening movie. All right, let's move on to pictures. For Christ's sake. Trolls 3. Frightening. Who would like to go first with pitches?
Wait, did you say troll?
You said Troll 3, which doesn't exist.
No, wait.
Well,
They're eating me. They're
yeah,
eating her
then they're
and
gonna
eat me next.
yeah,
That's
they're
Troll
her,
3.
they're gonna
isn't
meet
it?
me. Yeah, I think that
No.
is.
Or is that Trolls
doesn't
2?
exist. Not real.
No, that's absolutely real.
Nope.
They're eating her, then they're gonna eat me. Oh my god!
Nope. Not real.
Did you guys ever see Leprechaun 4, Leprechauns in the Hood?
Yes. It's not as good as the one in space, but it is fun.
The Leprechauns in the Hood, I forget the exact title, it's good for I actually think they thought that movie was frightening. I think they're actually under the impression they were making a scary movie, which is adorable and hilarious because it's so bad. It's
Oh, you know what, Jack's right. That's Troll 2.
Troll 2.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah. Oh my god!
Yeah, Troll 2 is a classic, but I've seen worse movies than that.
And there is a Troll 3, but it was actually an import of an Italian movie, and it wasn't Troll 3. It has nothing to do with Troll.
Yeah, that happens a lot. The Italians like to try and craft a movie around something that's semi-popular in some respect, or they think is, so they can latch onto it and appeal to its fan base.
All right,
Yeah,
we're coming up on 2.25 hours, and I can see the people, the amount of viewers are dropping, guys. Let's get on the fucking pitches and get it over with.
Sure.
Okay, who would like to go first? I'm ready. If you're not,
I'm gonna say I'm ready as well.
Oh my god, somebody go.
oh my god.
Oh my god! I'll go.
My god.
All right, Quiz can go.
All right,
let me center you on the screen here. All right, yeah, it takes you 5 minutes to get started, so let's. You can.
Well,
start
I
talking
have
right
a
now.
prelude.
Okay. What you have is a fucking 2-minute limit today. I know from the editing of these things what's involved. Jesus.
It's perfectly fine. All right, I don't need to say very much.
Okay.
Written by Mike Grell, penciled by Michael Davis Lawrence, inked by Gray Morrow, and lettered by Stephen Haney. My pitch is. Oh, come on. There we go. Share screen. Share. Shadow, Song of the Dragon.
Ooh. I remember you
this
pitching this to me. Like, you should go read this, man. You might like this. Cool. All
Oh
right, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Sweet.
Shadow is the name of a Japanese assassin that has a run-in with Green Arrow quite often in the Green Arrow series, especially the Mike Grell one. And I love it right here. Are you 100% American? Prove it by buying U.S. Government bonds. Third Liberty Loan. But it starts off with an allegory about World War II. I love some of the dialogue here. I remember growing up thinking World War II was great, a wonderful chapter in history. America at its best. Courage, sacrifice, heroism, everybody pulling together. The Andrews sisters. Then I grew up and found my own war. Somehow it wasn't quite what I expected. And then it goes into talking about a whole bunch of stuff about the Americans. So let's hear, what is it? Someone said the Germans fought for the Führer, English fought for the king, Japanese fought for the emperor, and Americans fought for souvenirs. But it's really good. This whole story, it's a 4-part miniseries. First of all, the art is fucking fantastic. It's very, very indicative of Mike Grell's style, while not actually done by Mike Grell. It's still beautiful. All of the art in it is beautiful. It looks like one of those watercolor ink paintings. And it's all about this woman named Shadow who gets in debt with the Yakuza and ends up having to be their top assassin. And I won't give any more away about that, but he goes into her background and family history and everything. One of the best comic books I've read about a gritty crime drama set in Japan and starring a amazing Japanese archer. Fantastic. I loved it. Shadow, Song of the Dragon.
Nice. All right, Jack, since we were on this screen, would you like to go right away?
Sure.
All right.
Let me just share my screen here. And I'm going with something that's slightly less conventional. Legends of Log. Now, picture a barbarian book,
Okay.
but and you want to work in a giant tree man somehow. That's Legends of Log. It's created and written by Ski Shirarsky, and there's some really awesome art by Bob Berry. This is from Alterna Comics. This came out right before the shutdown. They are turning it into a regular series, so this is technically issue 1. So check it out. He fights a giant snake, and you're like, oh, he's not that big. That's not that big of a snake. But he's actually pretty huge, as you'll see in a minute. And there's a giant, super intelligent ape guy, and dragons, and there's a chick who's like a Sheena chick. And they have little short stories in here. They're little vignettes. This is a different artist. But it's a really fun, kind of crazy off the wall thing. He guards the North Woods, but there's other wilderness areas that he goes to and meets like dinosaurs. And he's got a little bird friend whose name is Bird.
That lives
There's
in the
the
hollow
evil-
in his head.
Hmm?
That lives in the hollow in his head.
It sits on top of his head when he's walking.
Oh, okay.
There's the evil warlock, which is Warlock Dark Grim. And this girl, see how big he is? That's a normal human.
Okay.
That's Cora, the savage girl. And I had a lot of fun reading this. It was just so silly and weird. And it's a giant log man. He's got a giant battle axe.
Does he roll downstairs alone or in pairs and rolls over your neighbor's dog?
He does whatever a log can. He's
So
got
that's-
log powers.
Is he great for a snack and fits on your back?
Yes.
I love the meta title on the cover. $1, one shots. Love it.
Yeah.
That
It was
turns
only
awesome.
$1. I kind of have been waiting for this to come out. I'm not gonna lie, because he shows up in some of the. It came out on a Wednesday, which are little anthologies that Alterna puts out, and some of them are really trash, but some of them are pretty fun. And Log was in there, but I was looking forward to this because I kind of like this guy's art style. Like, look at the detailing on these scales. Like, he actually went in and drew all these.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I thought it was a blast, and it was only $1.
Which
And
by today's standards is insane.
yeah, it is. It really is. Plus, the issue 2 is going to come out in a couple months. I think in August, and I'm really looking forward to it because I had a lot of fun reading this. And for $1, even $2, I wouldn't feel ripped off at all by it. So, high recommendation.
Nice. After that.
From Blammo.
Oh, that's the wrong. Whatever. Shut up. Okay. My pitch is going to be a little unusual today because I'm not pitching an individual comic. I'm pitching an entire series, but fuck it, I can do things like that because I don't.
I pitched a whole series.
Yeah, well, okay. Like I'm pitching a long ongoing series, and it's funny and coincidental that that scumbag from CBR decided to write that article because I've been reading Punisher War Journal lately.
Oh fuck yeah!
Nice.
And I have been reading this fucking series, and they're a lot longer reads than I thought. I thought I'd be like getting through each issue in like 4 minutes. You know, super fast reads like modern comics. No, man, there's a lot going on in them.
They're very talky too. Yeah.
Yeah, the first issue rocks, guys. Like Jim Lee finishes the art. Carl Potts does the script and layout. Fantastic. Okay, this is back in the days of Tom DeFalco running things properly. You know, classic Marvel era. It does tell the story of Frank Castle's family and how they were killed throughout this comic without words, if you will, always in the bottom frame of each page, the bottom panel of each page. You get a different piece of what happened on the day that Frank Castle's family was killed. Great way to run an origin story. It's like current day. Here he is dealing with microchip, and here's fresh stuff, and I'm going out to go on my apparently to be a heroic U.S. military or law enforcement officer and murder people at random. He's not a fictional vigilante at all, guys. We need to be scared of this man. Anyway, the Punisher War Journal is great. It is a lot of detailed work back when Marvel cared about detail. Look how many panels there are on just one page. There's so much to look at. That's what I mean. It's like it's a 15+ minute read per comic because you want to go over it. I forgot how much detail there was in this. Fucking great. So, like I said, not just number 1 that I'm pitching. I'm talking the whole series. Number 2, Red Daredevil right away comes into it. Wolverine comes into it right away. Lots of great crossovers, but not trying to get you to buy the comic just for the sake of if Punisher's in New York and he's fucking around in Hell's Kitchen. Well, of course, Daredevil's going to come in and try and stop the vigilante killer from going too far, right? And that's exactly what ends up happening in this issue. Again, fantastic. He's an ex-Marine, a man who's constantly haunted by the past and the death of his family. You can't get enough good stuff out of this. And one interesting little thing that they ended up doing at the end of every Punisher War Journal is his equipment page, where he's reviewing a given piece of weaponry or equipment or some kind of kit that he uses, which is just kind of like I don't know, a little bonus thing that they put on the last page of everything where the Punisher's kind of basically reviewing some piece of equipment that he uses. In this case, this particular machine pistol. I mean, that if that doesn't scream classic Marvel, what the fuck does? Look at that shit. Sorry, I know you guys can't see it. This is the 2-part Wolverine crossover where he's got his claws pierced through the Punisher's logo on the front of his shirt. Fucking classic material. And I love the line, meeting for the first time and maybe the last. Just fucking sick. The whole series is so much fun. I can't recommend it enough, by all means. And the one that I just finished reading, the 3-parter, the Sicilian Saga, he ends up over in Sicily fighting it out, extended members of his family, unearthing things from the past. That's why it's unearthed, like, you know, stories of the past. Well, he's got new vigilante things to get involved in. It's a 3-part story arc. War Journal has constant little mini story arcs in it. Guys, it's available as a collected edition. It's classic Marvel detailed stuff. They're long reads for comics. Fun vigilante stuff. If you're not into superhero stuff, more like gritty action movie shit. Yeah, man. Punisher War Journal. I've been having a blast with it.
I think the Punisher War Journal goes up to 80 issues.
80, okay.
Yeah.
And they're definitely available in collected editions. Definitely available in digital editions over on Comixology. Fuck yeah, Punisher, man.
Yep. I've been reading it as well.
And it's an interesting bit of coincidence that the guy from CBR wrote that article, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm reading Punisher War Journal and I'm not understanding anything that you're saying. they're obviously just like the way that somebody would pull on a Captain America t-shirt because they're a patriot serving their country, not because they literally think they're Steve Rogers. The Punisher because the skull logo's cool, not because they literally think they're handing out cold vigilante justice. You've got it twisted, guys. Damn. Anyways, there it is. Yet another stream in the can. Yeah, we should probably wrap it up right here because we're coming up on 4.5. Thank God, no. 2.5 hours, and we're supposed to be going. I only wanted to do 90 minutes today. See what happens. We get into conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you to everybody who stuck it out to the end. Thank you for Mike Parlett putting "Get Your Ass to Mars" in chat because I love that line so much.
Get your ass to Mars.
Yes. And then it's repeated over and over again by the computer. Get your ass to Mars. And Ronnie Cox, best villain actor ever. Am I right? Hell yeah.
I don't know, man. I personally like Michael Ironside for villain
Well, that
actor.
movie's got it all. It's got 80s Schwarzenegger. It's got Sharon Stone before she was completely full of herself and still curvy. It's got Michael Ironside playing a hyper badass in a leather sport coat. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And then
I love it so much.
And then Ronnie fucking Cox playing the chief villain. And lines like "Get your ass to Mars." Like it just fucking that movie. So talk about
I think you're overlooking the fact that Basket Case made a guest appearance as Quado.
Yeah, and it's got rebel leaders that live in other people's stomachs. I mean, what more could you ask for? In any case, I will see you guys next time that we do a stream. I want to thank everybody for showing up, especially those who sticked it out to the end. An extra special thank to everybody who donated. It is greatly appreciated. If you haven't already, please hit like on your way out. And if you are so inclined, please retweet the tweet that we sent out that we were going live. Lets everybody know that the stream is up and that we're doing things over here. In addition to read more comics, let me think. Is there anything else I forgot? No, I think that's just about everything.
Well, the COVID situation is relaxed, so visit your local comic book store. They're probably going to need a little bit of support and also conventions too.
Yeah, and hopefully your local comic book shop is going to be reopening for business. And yeah, we didn't talk much about it, but people have, life after Diamond is happening. It's a real thing. People said that there was no chance of it. And there's a bunch of sour, salty comic book creators and comic book shop owners that are like, no, Diamond or nothing. Fuck you. Diamond Distributors was a house of cards that was needed an economic readjustment. Am I right?
Yes.
In any case, thank you, Jack and Quiz, for being here. And thank you, everybody, for showing up and keeping chat lively. We'll see you next time, guys.